Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to Endless Legend 2. There are so many things that I want to say about this game, about Amplitude, about Endless Legend 1. And Endless Legend 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of my favorite 4X games. It was so unique and so incredible. Now this is coming from the Amplitude studio, who are known for the Endless Space series, the Dungeon of the Endless, Endless Legend, Humankind. And the simplest way I'm going to describe Endless Legend 2 for you is, imagine if a studio had been able to condense the knowledge and experience of half a dozen 4X games into one incredible experience. That's why there's going to be pretty minimal cuts in this video, because I want you to really experience what the game feels like. The music, the art, the story, everything about this game is incredible. This is a preview build that was built for a specific event, and I only get to play for 120 turns. I have already played through a game or two, so we're going to go ahead and start a new game. And we have the choice of playing two factions. We can either play the kin of Sheredyn, who hail from the stars long ago. The kin of Sheredyn have struggled to tame this world ever since their original leader, Garin, was lost to the wilds. I will say, we can also play the aspects, but I will say I have a little bit of a illness at the moment, so I apologize if my voice or if I miss any sniffles during the edit of this video. But this game is important for many reasons that I'm going to talk about, but the aesthetics, the vibe, the feeling is just immaculate. Genuinely, one of the feedback points I gave to the developers is like, this is like a 10 out of 10 banger game, and I want it immediately. I want to play it immediately. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. I'm going to play the kin of Sheredyn. These are sort of a very defensively focused faction, city builders, high production. Then you've got the aspects, which are sort of diplomatic, like a diplomatic Zerg might be a way that we might put it. But we're going to start with the kin of Sheredyn. I'll probably do a second video. Also, just look at this art in the background. Okay, I'll be quiet.
We came from the stars, the Sheredyn, the right hand of Empress Elevus. Garin led the tattered remnants of our fleet here, ordered to find a new home. Yet this world has not been welcoming. Terrors in the oceans, scuttling horrors on the isles. We were tested, but never swayed from our task, even when we lost Garin herself.
Oh my god, the music and the visuals are just...
With Garin's courage and Garin's steel, I will rebuild the kin anew. With the wisdom of the stars and the strength of the chosen, we will fight to ensure that Sayada is not a staging post, but our true home.
Sayada. Welcome to Endless Legend 2. The kin of Sheredyn. We kin of Sheredyn has suffered on this world, seen our numbers decimated, seen our original commander lost to its mysteries. Now with our fate and our steel, we must rebuild anew. Ensure Sayada is a home worthy of the Emperor. So there's a few things that I want to talk about here at the start. Those of you who are familiar with Civilization 4, you may recognize the hand of Kael'thas, the modder, I believe, who created the Fall from Heaven mod. I believe he's working on this game. I can't remember if he's a gameplay or something, a designer. But I really want you to look at the graphics, the vibes, everything, the UI. Speaking of UI, actually, look at these options. We've got incredible accessibility options, video options. We can go uber quality levels. We've got FPS lock. There are so many. This is a beautiful beautiful UI. A beautiful UI. There are so many things. Look at that. You can choose to have left click to order movement. For those classic gamers who move with left click. I turned the graphics up here because they seemed a little bit low, but just look at how gorgeous these tiles are. This is a regular bush, and here's my favorite thing about this game's UI, okay? You see, I want to know more about this bush, okay? I hold down shift, boom. You see that lock symbol at the top? When I hold down shift, it locks the UI, the tooltip, and I could just come over here. Regular terrain. And you see how it fills up, and boom, now this is locked. Industry. What's a constructible? Oh my goodness. Just layers of being able to explore the game's concepts. It's magic, and then you can just work your way back down the ladder. By letting go of shift for a moment, you got near water. Okay, so things near water gain food. Okay, so the tile itself is a dense forest. It's beautiful. It's magic. It's amazing. So we have two armies here. The first army here is Uerach, which is our hero. And then we've got a legionary, which is a kind of defensive swordsman. It's infantry with shield mastery, so whenever it gains shield, which is temporary HP, it will gain more. And then we've got our good friend here, the sentinel, who is a patroller, so he moves a little bit faster than you might otherwise expect. I think they have a base of 5 movement, but because they're a patroller, no. They give other units in their army +1 movement. But yeah, so our first objective, we need to take time to explore and choose the best location to found our first city. And that city will have a prepared settlement bonus for each turn that we spend exploring, which is currently 0 turns. So we're gonna, you get a little bit of the game gives you an incentive to take your time with the exploration mechanics. Take your time figuring out, like, where do I want to actually build my city? If I zoom out here, you can kind of see, okay, we're at this like corner of a thing. If I move my scout forward, it will reveal more about the map, and I can also click on this button here to found the capital, and the game will suggest locations where it might be good. 8 food, 8 production. That seems quite good. We've got here is an insights curiosity, a collection befitting of a learned party, full of insights. So we could search this for battle spoil. So if I bring my army over here and stand on this, we gained 10 science, which is very cool. And we've discovered this is a ridge. This is basically a mountain. It's good for production. So what we're looking for is, well, somewhere to put our capital. And so far the game thinks over here is the place. Let's start splitting my armies up. We have found the Black Hammers, and they are hostile. Now, they do give you +2 industry per pacified village under protectorate on keeps districts. That actually might be really good for us. The kin of Sheredyn are particularly good at building keeps. It is one of their unique attributes. Now, if we did settle beside this little anomaly here, this is a giant orchard. It has food and dust. That could give us a lot of money in the early game. There's also detritus here that we can pick up. Let's go pick up that detritus. 30 dust. Zoom out a little bit. I do like being near this river too. That's kind of an interesting idea. I may choose to settle like right here. 8 food, 8 production is a good start, and then we do have this as an exploitable tile nearby. We don't have to settle immediately. We can take a little bit of time. That's the thing that I like about Endless Legend 2. It's amazing. Okay, let's go ahead and select our next unit. First, I want to scout with this guy. Let's move along this ridge here. Okay, we found a bit of a coastal area. Keep exploring. And it looks like we have found an anomaly up over here. This is a purple leaf. It has stability and science on it. That could be a good place to put our first city. In addition, actually, now this is the kind of thing that we're talking about. Look at that, 10 food, 12 production, 4 science, 5 stability. That is definitely, I think, where we're going to consider putting our first city. Let's move this legionary up. And yeah, I think Shiat is going to be where we put that, because that is just such a good start over here. We will continue to explore and consider our options. Remember, we do have 2 turns of boosted growth. Let's pick up this obelisk curiosity. These strange pillars will give us influence. It's a very useful resource. We'll talk about it when the time comes. Step into this forest. and then step into this next forest. Yeah, the game still thinks that somewhere over here is best. That's fine. Step in here. Yeah, it still wants to go over here, which is what I will eventually do. But I think we are going to... I think we want that 12 production tile right there. Production is a very nice thing to get. Go ahead and pop you down right there. This, of course, is our capital city, Garin's Rest. I believe if I open the technology, I'm trying to remember, or maybe it's the Empire screen, you can see we can have 2 cities at this phase of the game without having any penalties. There's a lot we can talk about in this screen, but we're not going to just do that just yet. But now that we have a city, there's a lot that we can do with it, right? We can spend our influence to expand the foundations. This is capturing tiles for the city. We can build districts. If we click on these empty tiles, you cannot build districts upon anomalies, but you can build them here on these foundations. Now, the laboratory gets +2 science for each adjacent anomaly. So there's a really good laboratory tile right there. You can see it would gain +4 science. It would be worth 6 science right here. Whereas if I were to build it over here, it would only be worth 2 science, which is quite a bit worse. So the first research we're going to go for here, I believe, is the strength of Garin, which will give us +5 defense on our units and +2 industry on our keeps. And the idea behind this is that while we could, in theory, start building these nice production buildings, right, gaining +3 production and +1 influence, our civilization, the King of Sheredyn, actually gains special benefits based on how high our zeal is, which is based on how high our fortifications are. So it might be within our interest for us to build strongholds, because they give you fortifications. In addition to that, this technology here, the strength of Garin, will give us +2 industry on those, sort of giving us a return on our investment. I will probably start with 2 strongholds. We could also recruit units, but I think I'm going to start with 2 strongholds. That feels like a reasonable starting number. That'll be +4 production. We can also manage the population of this city. These are the King of Sheredyn. They get +2 production when they are acting as artisans, who are your production. We can choose which type of people we want to grow in here. Right now we can only grow the King of Sheredyn, so we shall allow that to continue. So now that we have chosen a place for our city to go, we can start thinking about, do we want to get an outpost? And I think it would be good for us to get an outpost nice and early, so I'm going to bring my people over here. Because outposts can be linked to your cities to improve them, and that is definitely something we are going to want to do nice and early. Yeah, I apologize I can't do my... Oh my god, that's amazing. I can't do my excited voice because it hurts me right now. I actually have to force myself to speak a little bit quieter because I'm a little bit sick. So this is kind of explaining influence and foundations. Influence is an incredibly important resource. It's used for diplomacy. It's used for expansion. It's important for creating foundations. You can spend influence to access new tiles, and then these tiles will provide you with benefits. That's not what we're going to spend our influence on right now. We're going to spend our influence on getting an outpost and then linking that outpost to the capital city. But we have finished the strength of Garin, so now our keeps will give us +2 production. Do keep in mind that a lot of the UI is, well, it's not finished. This game is clearly unfinished, but that doesn't stop it from being incredibly fun, incredibly interesting. 20 winters have passed since the mantle of leadership fell on General Shaparenko, yet she could remember no harder time. This is the missing youth quest. The devastation of the storms have scarred many kin, and the ensuing starfalls have stirred ancient memories of their own times traveling the heavens. Sermons are more evangelic. Congregations gather, and canticles sung with unrecalled zeal. Garin's legend burns brighter than ever, with many kin desperate for their lost leader to return from the wilds and relight their path. For the leader of the kin, it is a testing time. Seneschal, I pray you disturb me for good reason. I have a lot on my mind. So General Natalia Shaparenko, the leader of the Kin of Sheredyn, is speaking to Bodr Hadrada, the King of Sheredyn advisor. For good reason, yes, but my news is troubling. Spit it out then. I hear enough riddles from the chaplains. Parizia is missing. Slipped past the patrols. Another one determined to retrace the great Commander Garin's footsteps, no doubt. One of our most promising youths, but she's too impetuous. Do I hear a soft spot in your voice, General? Perhaps, but no matter who, the response would be the same. We'll need to send a search party. So this will give us the objective to search mosaic halls with a hero and will grant us plus 75 dust. Let's go ahead and begin this quest. And after we begin the quest, we get like a little musical number. And the mosaic halls, if we zoom out, it's actually right here on our hero. So if we step in here, I may have to step in and out of it to kind of get the game to realize it. Yep, there we go. Just really fortunate that I happen to be right on top of this. Deep in the ancient ruins, the search party finds Prisia, badly injured and trespassing far from home. Shaparenko decides to let her rest. They will speak in the morning. Plus 75 gold. You're lucky we found you, Prisia. In winters past, the necrophage have swarmed out of the depths of these ruins. You pay a lot for this obsession with Garin, don't you? And I am happy to pay. Someone must seek the truth, after all. You have the best interests of the kin at heart. That is commendable. We all want to learn the truth, Prisia, but your methods are disrespectful. Not to mention dangerous. I saw someone. What? Across the ruins. It might have been Garin. I would have followed, but I fell. Maybe that was fortunate. Whoever you saw, I'd stake my life it wasn't Garin, and whoever it was might not have taken too kindly to you trailing them. Now, we need to get you back to rest. Lieutenant Brezvez? General! Our scouts have sighted necrophage in the vicinity. We must have disturbed a nest. All right, all kin to arms. Let's see them off. So now we have the objective to destroy the necro horde and we get plus 75 influence. Let us begin that quest. I'm going to bring my little scout unit down this way so we can merge our armies together and merge our power together. So now we can choose a technology. One of the technologies I'm a big fan of. You've got sort of, well, before I explain which technology I want to get, I should explain how the technology works. Basically, you've got this sort of radial sectors here. The top sector is your society technologies. This is going to cover things like influence, farming, happiness. So you've got here, you've got fencing. This unlocks a farm and gives you the bonus of having a citizen slot in the capital. We'll talk about that later. Then you've got civil order, which unlocks communal habitations, which is your happiness or stability building. It also gives you approval on the capital. We'll again talk about that later when we're actually optimizing our capital setup. And then we've got the forum, which is just a building that produces a lot of influence. One that I am going to want to get relatively early. And this gives you a scribe slot on the capital. Now, I think I'm going to go for the voice of the masses here. I want that influence. But then you've got the military side of things. Stuff like stonework that we have already unlocked. That is our unique factional abilities. We start with this technology. You've also got scavenging, which gives us experience and on new units and battle spoils. We've got the workshop here that unlocks the works building and gives us an artisan slot in the capital. And then there is the currency building, which gives the merchant house, as well as a trickle of money on the capital. You've got keystones, which is how we build two different types of bridge. Gives you a little bit of vision. And then we've got our scientific charter over here, which unlocks the laboratory. This is definitely going to be one of the things I want to unlock. In fact, it's going to be the thing that I unlock next. So I will queue that up. We'll go to the next turn and start thinking about what our next moves are. Let us gather our armies together and begin the attack on this necro horde. Now, it's a favorable battle. I believe we do have the option to instant resolve it. But I would like to fight this battle manually, just so that I can kind of show you how battle actually looks. I'm going to start a manual battle here. You can see you've got these feeders. They are a swarm and they're opportunists. So if a unit is isolated, this unit will do an extra 20% damage. I don't actually know what swarm does. Ah, yes, they take less damage from ranged attacks. So better to use melee against these guys and to stick together. Whereas the necro drone is flying, which I think basically means it can fly over obstacles. So you can kind of see a battle map has opened up here. So this is the active battle map. People who played Humankind will be familiar with this concept. I'm going to move my hero here, Uwe Rak, forward. I'll put my infantry unit in front of that in a defensive stance. I have activated faster unit movement. This is what they look like normally. And defensive stance just means our units are kind of standing together. And you can see see that little blue health there, that is shield. I am not entirely sure what gives my units shield. My hero has a scoped shot ability, so if I were to just make a regular attack, you could see I would do 13 to 22 damage with a 10% chance to crit, I believe. Now, if I do a scoped shot, I will do 33 to 33 damage, which is a decent amount more damage than we would otherwise do. So I'm going to go ahead and do the scoped shot, and I will use my kin of Sheredyn here to get up and smash them in the face. Perfect. And then we'll also use the cavalry to do a similar amount of damage. So we've significantly damaged the necro drone. This should be a fairly easy and straightforward fight. It's basically a tutorial fight. Now, there are gameplay mechanics that you are going to be familiar with, which is moving units triggers opportunity attacks. Let us make this attack again, and then we shall strike these guys thusly. We will move our unit forward here to get a hit on the feeder, but we do want to remain adjacent to an ally, as this unit does extra damage to units that are isolated. And they have zipped around here. Units that stand adjacent to your rangers will harm their ability to do damage, 17 to 24. If I pull back a tile, right, we will take an opportunity attack. Okay, never mind. Forest impediment. Okay, there was another impediment, but basically there's different impediments. I wanted to step to show off the opportunity attack there. But again, this should be a pretty straightforward battle. The enemy is slain. Still as menacing as the day I first set eyes on them, though. This world is a death trap. The day the necros stop giving me the shivers is the day I relinquish my command. But we will call this world home. One day. So we gained a reward of 75 influence, which is great. General, our chosen units are close to full readiness. Meanwhile, I recommend we get as many hands on deck as we can muster. Raise up our settlements for whatever's coming. Exactly. Emperor Zelivas would be proud. See it happens. For the United Empire, may it reign eternal. So our goal is to have 3 populations as artisans in Garin's Rest for 1 turn, and this will unlock the chosen unit. We'll talk a little bit more about the chosen unit. It's a very interesting unit. One of its main abilities is that it acts as a beacon for all of these special abilities that we will unlock as we build more fortifications. We'll talk a little bit more about those when the things come. I want to talk about things as they unfold. I want the game to unfold like origami in your mind. I don't want to overwhelm you with things before we need to. We've got little notifications here. So we completed some quests, we found some stuff. More importantly here, the strength of our zeal has risen, and so that we can now use the divine service ability to create a divine population. Now, the kin of Sheredyn have +2 industry on artisans. The divine population have +1 of all yields, no matter which job they work, which makes them quite powerful. However, I want to make sure that I get this quest here, and so I don't want to actually use this, even though it's really, really good, until I've hit this. There are special population bonuses here. You can see the tier 1 population bonus will unlock a unique improvement. The military press, which will give you 0.1 influence per fortification on the city, which is really cool. And if you have 5 people of the kin of Sheredyn, you will get that. If you have 15 people of the kin of Sheredyn, you will get +1 industry on the population. And if you have 30, you'll get 10 industry on cities with a kin of Sheredyn population. So there's a lot of interesting benefits from focusing on growing and focusing on a particular population. So now this army can move at a speed of 4. We're going to zip down here, and we're going to create a camp. It will take 3 turns to build, but this camp will eventually be attached to the capital. We're likely to get attacked by this company of units, as they should be pretty aggressive. They might leave us alone for a little bit, but eventually they will. They will attack us. Go ahead and keep ending the turn. We have researched the voice of the masses, so now we have access to the forum, which is an influence building, and as well as compulsory education, which gives us extra scribes on the capital. So if I pop into Garin's Rest here, I'm going to tell this city to focus on industrial, because the kin of Sheredyn are particularly good at working artisans. Scribes are this job over here that gives you more influence, but we want production right now. So we are going to build a forum here. This will eventually be +4 influence, which is quite strong. Consider that the city is only making +4 influence right now. We have been attacked. If we instant resolve this, and the instant resolution is a little bit more forgiving in this game, but if we instant resolve this, we will gain we will win. We gain some battle spoils, we gain some experience. Iraq has actually leveled up, we will acknowledge this, and now we can kind of interact with this hero. We can start talking about the hero screen. So your hero will have equipment as well as a profile. You can give them companions. For example, I could give this guy Damien Sofka, which will allow him to capture enemy outposts, and basically enemy infrastructure will be easier to capture. Then Verdel Zorik will also do the exact same thing. You can make friends with other people, you can have a nemesis. You've also got the skill tree here, which is the most interesting part of the hero development in Endless Legend 2. Now, I will say this, I have given this feedback to the developers. I loved governors in Endless Legend 1. It was probably my favorite feature. And so it is the one thing that I am most disappointed about, is that there is no governor feature in Endless Legend 2 as the game currently stands. I'm okay with it. I can live with it, but man, it was one of my favorite bits of the game. So we can kind of make some decisions about how we want Uerak to develop here by spending skill points as he levels up. And there are 3 sectors to this skill tree. You've got over here, this is the archer skill tree. So this is skills that are specific to the class of the unit. And then over here, you've got the Kin of Sheredyn skill tree. This is specific to the faction of this hero. And then in between, you've got the hybrid skill tree, which is unique to the combination of the archer, or of the class and faction of this hero. So you'll have a few interesting choices with each hero. Now we've got another section of this UI. We've got the, for lack of a better term, the attributes section over here. Each of these stats will improve a skill in the skill tree. You can see might will improve offensive hero abilities. So it would improve the supported attack, which is when this unit, it's a passive skill, when this unit attacks a unit that is adjacent to a friendly unit, it will deal 15% extra damage per adjacent friendly unit. And then every point of might will add extra points. So if I surround an enemy unit with a bunch of melee units, this guy will do a lot of extra damage. That is how the supported attack works. And then we've also got over here the pile driver, which when unlocked will give this unit an extra 4 damage and an extra 2 damage per might. So this would be 6 base damage, and he does between 23 and 29 damage. So this would be a pretty significant way to increase the power of this unit. Now we've got resilience here. And resilience, you can see if I hover over it, it highlights these 3 skills. You've got Devoted Guard, which is when this unit is defending, it will gain shield equal to 20% of the hero's maximum damage and will gain an extra 3 shield per resilience. So this would be 20% of 29, which would be around about 6 plus an extra 9. So it'd be like 15 shield when defending. This is a passive skill. When you gain shield, you would gain an extra 5 shield plus 1 per resilience. This would be an extra 8. So the combination of these two would make this hero very hard to break when defending. And then Nature of the Beast would add plus 10 maximum health to this unit per resilience. Then we've got the intuition skills, which are very much so, like, I don't think of archers as defensive units. I might get health or something, like you can focus on this, but I would more likely go down either an offensive, intuitive, or determination tree here. You can see here, this is the intuition. You've got when gaining experience, units in the army, or when gaining experience is a passive skill. Non-hero units of the army will gain 10% more experience plus a bonus per intuition. You've got Hyper-Vigilant, which allows you to capture during pillage, occupation, or raids faster. Triumphant Celebration, which is when you win a battle, you will gain influence plus a bonus influence per intuition. And then finally, you've got Patient Mentor up here, which gives your army experience every time a battle round ends, boosted by intuition. You've also got some archer skills over here that are boosted by intuition. You've got the Guiding Light, which adds 5 damage to non-hero ranged units of this army. So if you focus on building a lot of ranged units, this could make them a lot more powerful. In addition, you've got this skill right here, Terrain Logistics, which gives you experience based on finding curiosities. This is quite good for an exploring army. Guerrilla Tactics. This will give critical chance to non-hero ranged units, scaling based on your intuition. And then Eye for Weakness will add extra damage. So if you go down the intuition path, you can boost up your ranged units in this army quite a bit. Then we've also got sort of a more of a determination path, which improves the hero's leadership skills. So you've got something like the Recovery Shot, which restores health equal to 40% of the hero's maximum damage to the targeted unit. And then there's the upgrade of this, which is patched up, which is 60% plus 6, rather than 40% plus 4. You've also got the Rain of Arrows, which is an AoE effect. I believe it's a circle AoE, so it hits the target plus all of the adjacent targets. You've got Pinning Volley, which applies the slowed status in an AoE. I think this is actually an upgrade to the Rain of Arrows. I could be wrong. But these are quite powerful skills. So we've kind of done an overview of all the different things that this hero can do. Now, he has really high defense, which would make him really hard to kill. But is that the direction that we want to go with him? I feel like it would be far better to go in a more damage-oriented way, like get this support attack right here. That's immediately going to boost the amount of damage output he has. Then if we also get Pile Driver, that will increase the base damage that he will do. And, you know, doing lots of damage is very useful and powerful. Alright, so now that we've built our outpost over here, we can attach it to a city. I'm going to have my units sort of sit here and heal up. They will heal up faster inside allied territory. They will gain, I believe it is here, yeah, plus 25 health regeneration, but an extra 20 if they are in allied territory. So I'm going to chill here for a turn or two, nice and safe on that outpost. And in fact, we're going to grab this outpost and spend 100 influence to attach it to Garin's rest. So I will do this. Let's take quick stock of Garin's yields, right? So 6, 30, 14, 8, 4. We attach this to a city, and now it's 7, 32, 16, 10, 5. So a small increase. And the most important thing that attaching a outpost to your city does is it provides you with foundations that you can annex that are a lot cheaper. So you can see here, this is only 28 influence. This is only 28 influence. These are a lot cheaper. So I could grab 5 food and 4 gold per turn, or 4 dust per turn, for 28 gold, or 28 influence. That's really strong. Our city has finished its production queue, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pop down here and get a foundation on this, because I do love the idea of getting plus 5 food and plus 4 dust. It's very nice. And I'm also going to come in here. We need to build a new district. We could build a district right there. We get the forum that's plus 4 influence per turn. That will help our city and empire grow. I love it. And if I zoom out, you can kind of see that we have started to annex significant chunks of the map. Okay, I'm wondering if we can do the attacking of this village. Should be a fairly straightforward auto-resolve. I will take that. 140 gold. Attacking a village will destroy it. And in order to then get the benefit of it, we would have to rebuild it, which will take a couple of turns. But that's fine. I much prefer attacking villages than giving them gold or doing their quests, because you get a lot more experience for just straight up killing them and fighting them. One thing that we could do in our city is actually produce an extra unit for our army. If we wanted a legionary, we could fit another infantry unit in here. I think we'll just leave it for now until we can build a chosen. If we could put a chosen in this army, it would be a significant upgrade. I'll wait another turn for this army to heal, and we shall continue on. So, scientific charter has been researched. We have access now to the laboratory science. What is it again? It's a building. And then also the curation, which will improve the rewards from curiosity. So we can go ahead and choose new technology. Now, when we have researched 8 technologies, Era 2 technologies will become available. And that will have some pretty big implications for our empire. We are near a river, so I do think a keystones is probably not a terrible move to grab that. I don't know if we necessarily need scavenging. A little bit of farming wouldn't go amiss. I might grab fencing. And, I mean, communal habitations aren't terrible. They're great for your approval, keeping the city's approval high. We might go for civil order. So that's our next 3 technologies. When we've completed all of these, we will be able to move to the Years of Toil. We have another village that we need to pacify, so we'll sort of head up this way. We'll pop into the next turn and see what happens. So we're up against another 2 of these guys. Instant resolve. Boom. Thank you for the victory. I believe my hero UA has leveled up as well as did my units. We got some gold out of that. Some dust. This guy is leveled up again. I do like getting the recovery shot. Being able to heal during a battle, you can only use it once, but being able to heal is quite good. We do need to get up to 4 hero points to unlock the next tier of abilities, so it's a pretty decent heal. So we've got quite a few nice infrastructure sort of beginning in here. We're also going to go ahead and start and build ourselves a laboratory here. That plus 6 science per turn is going to be very useful. We'll park that right there. Go to the next turn. The noise of industry and commerce rise from Garin's rest. Beyond, banners flutter in the breeze and mouth-watering smells drift from the cooking pits. The city thrives, yet some of the kin wear faces grim as thunder. They are angry, not with you, with Prisia. Word travels fast. They know of her defilement. Some are too zealous, I fear. We need to keep her out of the way while she recovers. I will see to it. And General, there is good news too. Soon our mighty chosen units will roam far and wide. So we've unlocked the chosen unit, which is a very, very unique and powerful unit. It is a juggernaut that has righteous wrath. So it adds damage equal to its current shield. It's also a wall breacher, allowing it to attack fortifications. Basically your melee infantry siege unit. Very, very powerful. News of Prisia's expedition to Garin's rest has sped like wildfire. Rumour that she sighted the messianic figure of Garin have only inflamed manykin's anger. Among the most faithful, spurred on by the church, there are calls for the resurrection of the Great Search. expeditions that sought to find their missing commander all those years ago. Strange forces are afoot in our lands, yet all anyone talks about is our savior Garin. They are afraid. Garin offers them hope, and I do not. Our Messiah must have been quite the leader. I wish I'd been old enough to remember her. She was. The tales are embellished, but not ridiculously so. Sayada had already strengthened her when she walked into the wilds, and so we are to ignore our fragile state and marshal our efforts into finding her again. How will we make this our true home if we're always waiting on her return, Hadrada? That I don't know. What I know is that most kin see her as our savior. If she were to be found, then all our problems would be solved. Ha! The burden of leadership. The truth is, our resources are stretched thin. We cannot both search for Garin and build our settlements. So we have to choose. We can either search for Garin, which would give us a discount to the Wisdom of Garin technology, or we can build a chosen and gain stability on Garin's rest. I'm going to search for Garin. Much as it pains me, the settlements will have to wait. The fate of Garin now burdens every kin. That must be our priority. Ideas? Many say the old hermit. Rizeld knows things. Rizeld, who disappeared years back, the one and the same. It is rumored he roots out an existence in the wilds. Then that is our focus. So we need to find the hermit's abode. We shall begin this quest. I'm going to use my gold to quickly rush out the laboratory. My dust, that is. That will get us +6 science per turn, and then we can begin the construction of a chosen that we will also look to rush out, as they are very powerful and very useful. After that, we are going to want to work on repairing the Black Hammer's villages, which will allow us to turn them into a protectorate once we have repaired their towns. We burn them down, we annex them, and then we repair them. We've got some curiosities here. We've got some charts we can pick up. This will give us extra vision and damage, some kind of buff. I'm not entirely sure how to see that buff or what it's actually doing. But we got a buff all the same. And there's a hermit's abode down this way. We'll make our way over there slowly. Alright, let's keep on exploring. I save up my influence for the... I need to save up my influence for the... Oh, we've been attacked, sorry. Just do a quick instant resolve on this. We gained 40 gold and a bit of experience. Influence to turn these guys into a protectorate. Oh, here we go.
Kin of Sheredyn. A time of great upheaval is upon us. As the heavens open, remember our creed and stand strong against the horrors of the night.
So this is Endless Legends 2. Endless Legend 2's version of Winter. If you're familiar with Endless Legend 1, this is the monsoon. Now, monsoon has come to Sayada. New dangers and rewards will appear during the monsoon. Note that temporary bridges, which can be built by your armies, may be destroyed. So we'll get extra battle spoils. Our units cannot see as far. However, we do get a regeneration bonus if we're in non-allied territory. And minor factions become enraged and will attack anyone nearby. So the world has become more dangerous, but also filled with rewards. And with the first monsoon, council seats have been unlocked. So I believe if I... it's one of the buttons down here. No, first things first. Let's just go to the hermit's abode. An old figure confronts the kin. His hair is wild, his boots ruined, and even though his uniform is in dirty tatters, it still bears the Sheredyn insignia. Who trespasses? My name is General Shaparenko. I am seeking a fellow kin named Rizeld. Rizeld's not keen on visitors, and he left the kin a long time past. You know him? Of course. I am Rizeld. Then you can help us. We seek Garin again. Son whisper that you know where she might be found. I might, yet it will only bring you pain. Will you leave me in peace? Should I tell you what I know? We will. Then listen carefully. Before I forget, take this old tech. It's useless to me. Now, there is a sight beneath the waves. The storms have passed, the seas have fallen. Great tracts of land lie exposed for the first time in thousands of years. Where once only terrible creatures swam, now the waters have receded. The kin may pass without fear. Well, less fear, whether they like it or not. The fate of their lost leader, Garin, seems intimately tied up with their own fate. Reluctantly, Shaparenko makes plans for kin forces to visit the site that might hold answers. In Garin's Rest, a sense of hope is in the air, even if young Prisia has gone missing again. So I think this is not how the quest is meant to unfold. It's meant to happen at the end of the monsoon, I believe, based on the dialogue. General, we're almost ready to mount an expedition to the site. The drifter, Rizald, wishes to speak before we set off, though. He says he has useful insights to share. We'll see. Send him in. General Shaparenko, I thought you wanted to be left in peace. How long has it been since you set foot in a kin settlement, Rizald? Yeah, I think this triggered too early, this quest. It's not meant to happen until the end of the monsoon. Maybe too long. Anyway, enough about me. Word has it you're heading to that site that was long beneath the waves. The one linked to Garin. We are. What of it? I can help. I know things about the place. My time away from the kin has been enlightening, you might say. Give me some materials and I'll be your guide. Okay, we have an agreement. Now be on your way. Kin soldiers will meet you at the site. Do you think we can trust him? No, but we don't have to. Learning Garin's fate is the only thing that matters. Is there any chance he can help? Now, news of Prisia? Nothing. Alright, let's keep our eyes open. I got a feeling she's wrapped up in all this. So basically, this was not meant to happen just yet. It kind of spoiled what happens at the end of the monsoon. So we are on an island. And at the end of the monsoon, the oceans will fall. The water will recede. And new land will be revealed. So I want to head over here and explore a little bit in this direction. Okay, so we can do council seats here. Working capital will give us industry on the capital. Builder savvy will make districts cheaper. And engine stoker will give industry on city hall. I'm going to go for industry in the capital plus the cheaper district improvements. That will make it so that we can build stuff much faster. And we can always change our council at will. But that will make it future investments will be easier and better. So Keystones has been researched. We have access to the market bridge as well as the defended bridge. And we get lookout tower, which gives us vision on the city hall. I believe we still have research queued up, so we don't need to change anything. So I think this is like a random event. A question of faith. Dire news. The troops are claiming that the strange weather means the gods are opposed to your reign. Ridiculous. Whatever gods one believes in, I doubt they would punish a world to indicate their disapproval with me. I agree, of course. But I'm not the one you need to convince. So we can bribe people, which would get us approval. We can suppress for influence, which will cause exposed, lowering the armor of our units, or we can occupy their idle minds. I'm going to take the influence here, so we'll confirm that path. I'm tired of their complaints. They should focus on the attitude of their ruler, not their priests. So that got us a nice chunk of influence that we'll be able to use to expand our territory. We'll chill here for now. Actually, now that we have 150 influence, I'm going to quick buy out this plus this, and then next turn we'll rebuild that village because you need 150 influence to annex someone. And I'll use this chosen to pick up these levitations. These are strange little curious things that happen during the monsoon, and if we pick these up, it will actually refill the movement speed of the unit, allowing it to continue to explore faster. So let's keep on exploring. I believe we have rebuilt all of the Black Hammer's land, so now we can assign them as a protectorate. And the power of these guys is they will give us +2 industry per pacified village on protectorate keep districts. So if we assimilate them into our empire, we'll have 2 pacified villages under our control. So we should get +4 industry on our keeps. And that should reflect, I come over here to this city, you can see 8 production. And it's coming from somewhere, hold on. Production is coming from... Okay, maybe the tooltips isn't fully built, but basically we just got a nice boost to our production in this city. And now, actually, we can start using the Divine Service ability, which will allow us to convert the kin of Sheredyn into Divine population. This allows us to spend 100 dust to convert a population into Divine population. Now, these guys produce extra everything. We've also got the Black Hammers here, which have +2 industry when they're acting as scribes. That's actually excellent. We'll have the Divine population act as farmers. Each pop in your city will eat 4 food, and each farmer will produce 4 food, but the kin of Sheredyn will have an extra +1 food, plus a rainbow of yields on top, which kind of makes them really, really good farmers, the kin of Sheredyn. We could grow more Black Hammers, but we'll focus on growing the kin of Sheredyn for now. Take 17 turns. Now, the city's production queue has been emptied. I would like to get started with a defended bridge over here. Again, the more fortification we get, the better. So we'll get that underway. We picked up that nice little juicy thing. We have been attacked by these neutrals, and we'll auto-resolve it, gaining a little bit of battle spoils, and my hero has leveled up again. One more level up, we end up in good shape. I think boosting the experience of units is quite good. Alternatively, we could boost the might of this hero. Yeah, let's boost their might, and that will unlock the next circle of skills. We'll grab this detritus. Oh, we have been attacked. We resolve that, kick him out, and I think that got us, no, not quite another level. Yeah, we've got a lot of bad guys that we need to fight here, but we'll just take our time exploring and moving about. Got some foundlings here. Extra health regeneration. The Onerai, what do you do? Extra damage on ranged units per pacified village. Very nice. Okay. Approaching the camp, the soldiers are intrigued by the sound of chattering. They discover a strange wicker shrine with several daughters of Boar prostrate at its base. The soldiers drag one of the Boar to her feet, yet she doesn't struggle at crying out, and lets herself be meekly brought before you. The others pay no heed. Who are you, daughter of Boar? This is Alida, Tanya's daughter. My name is Alida. You should leave this place. Alida, I am General Natalia Shaparenko, leader of the kin of Sheredyn. Do we intrude upon your place of worship? It isn't safe for you here. We are strong and armed. We can take care of ourselves. You, on the other hand, seem equipped with little more than prayer. The beasts are no danger to us. They still remember. What beasts? What do they remember? A few moons ago, a great monster, a god beast, terrorized our village. Many souls were lost, yet that wasn't the worst. Some of the lost came back, transformed, inhuman. We pray to the god beast that it might free them of their bondage. Let them rest in peace. But your prayers remain unanswered. It is only a matter of time. Our piety is absolute. Maybe we can help. For a price. We should stop their suffering. For what? The Boar know well the old world, the tombs of the ancient. Share what you know and we will relieve them of their torture. So if we destroy the fallen sisters of Boar, we will get some kind of benefit. They seem to be over here or something. Alright, let's go to the next turn. We have been attacked again. Shall instantly resolve this. Thank you for that. What do we got here? We got some occultists. There's some long submerged ruins down here. It almost looks like a spaceship. Here are the fallen daughters of Boar. Ugh, horrors. I found an item that allowed me to create horrors once. They look familiar. So this market bridge, this defended bridge gets a bonus to something. I forget exactly what it is. It gets approval if it's adjacent to a keep. So I would like to annex this tile and build a keep on it. We could also recruit some of these warsmiths. They are pretty powerful infantry. They have defiant gaze. When it attacks, it'll gain shield per adjacent enemy. That's actually really good. No, instead what we're going to do is we're going to turn artisan activism on, which allows us to convert our production into influence. That will help us expand and build up our empire a little bit. We need to keep exploring. We have many things that we need to attend to. Okay, let us annex this tile for 75. Bam. And then upon this, we will build a stronghold. You can see the stronghold is at least 2 production, 5 stability, and 20 fortification. We've researched farm as well as kinship. We just need civil order next. That's what we're working on. All right, let's clear some of these Heprons. Instant resolve it. And we gained an Old One's Orb, which gives intuition and damage on our hero. Now, unfortunately, I don't think that is the correct type of equipment for this hero. It's for another type of hero. It's probably for a mage, but that's fine. He has leveled up again. We're going to take Pile Driver. We want that +4 damage. You can see here, 39 to 48 damage once we confirm this. 46 to 55 damage, so quite a bit more powerful. Go ahead and end that turn. That should finish the keep. The strength of our zeal has risen, so now we have the ability to replenish faith. Now the really interesting thing about replenishing faith is you can use it inside your territory, or you can use it around any chosen unit. So you can see here, this is our territory, but we can use it here because we've got a chosen over here. So very powerful. Chosen are extremely good because they allow you to use these incredibly powerful strategic, essentially magic abilities anywhere on the map. I think I want to convert these guys into the divine population, so I'll do another conversion. I'll move you over to be a farmer, keep the growth pumping. One of these villages has been pacified. Let's pacify the next one. Go ahead and instantly resolve this. Ooh, we got some titanium. That's really good. And a channeling cube, which is another one of those weapons. So we pacified all of the neutrals in this area. And we got our fortification down here, which is great. Foundations cost 87. Oh, here we go. This is it. Now look at that. Look at the land, or rather the water recede. Now, the monsoon has ended, and so too has the shape of the world. And I think this is a fantastic way to... You basically make the world bigger over time, encouraging exploration. It's such a masterful idea. I really, really like this as an idea for a 4X game. So I'm kind of thinking about how I want to build here, as in where is the next city going? And I think it might be going here. So I will settle like a little camp, take a few turns, pop it right there. We'll bring our chosen in to go join them. And so many new things have been revealed. We've got over here the threatening underground citadels that we will clear for great rewards. Many, many exciting adventures await. Discovered some new minor factions, which is cool. We have been attacked by these foundlings. It should be an easy auto-resolve. Gain a little bit of experience and some gold. Dust. I keep calling it gold out of habit. I accidentally reset the camp building. Whoops, that was not what I'd meant to do. Oh well. There's communal habitations, so now we can improve the population slots and our population vocations, as well as the extra approval here, which is really good. And we'll get influence if adjacent to a district. And we get approval in our capital. We have accessed a new era. So let us look at this new era. We have here military discipline that'll allow us to put another unit into our armies. Our units will have more experience when they're built, but they do cost more. We can increase the number of chosen that we have. And finally, we unlock the archer unit to add to our armies. Would like to get that archer. We could go for Iron Games here to get a second hero. Now, I happen to know that one of the most powerful abilities for the hand for the Sheredyn is actually right here in the hand of Garin. This Legionnaire's Workshop is a little bit broken. So I'm going to go ahead and research that, and we'll kind of show that off because it's kind of fun to, find the overpowered strategies when a game is kind of new. So we could attach this to a city. We would rather save up the influence. We're going to keep pumping influence in Garin's Rest so that we can make a new city in here. We have kind of two things we want to do with this. We want to get over here. I don't know why you're going there. Step. I don't know why the exploration isn't going through. A little bit confused by that. It's fine. So we've got a anomaly here, 20 science. Why don't you come back and fight these guys? Next turn we'll be able to evolve a new city. So we shall evolve you into a city. We could do landscaping in here, but it's not a priority. So here we are. It's not the greatest city ever. It will grow pretty reasonably quickly. I'm going to use Divine Service in here pretty much immediately. And we do want the city to grow pretty rapidly. Now, do I have another pacification? No, I don't have another pacification slot just yet. So we could fill this zone with farms if we wanted to. Far more useful to me is probably to build keeps. I'm also trying to think where I could fit a decent number of communal habitations, as our city is not exactly content at the moment. I'll build a keep over here, and I'll probably build my communal habitations to the south when the time comes. But for now, we'll build the keep. And we'll just let the city slowly develop. I see. I need to bring 10 glass steel to the long submerged ruins. Okay, that was the part of the quest that I missed. Coming into Garin's Rest, I would like to build a new foundation, perhaps. The city does have a deficit of food. Okay, you can't build upon an anomaly, but I did get this inside my territory now, which is good to know. Didn't realize that was an anomaly. I wouldn't have annexed it if I had known. Okay, the Hand of Garin is researched. We have access to the Legionnaire's Workshop, the Architect, which is an upgrade to the Chosen. We can also get more Chosen, and Steely Constitution will give us extra health on our Chosen, which is fantastic. So a lot of these abilities here will give us access to new things that we can build, like the Labourer's Hut, the Granary, converting production into food, all this stuff. We care more about unlocking things that give us... we need to get glass steel, basically. But we do have the titanium to make a blast furnace, so it could be worth it for us to start by researching a mine shaft. I would like to get down to this ridge in order to place industry there, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this tile. And on this tile, I will build a laboratory for the extra science as we make our way down to this ridge that we can surround with productive things. We can also build improvements here, and the Legionnaire's Workshop is... straight up overpowered because I believe it just gives all of your districts +5 production, which is kind of nutty, actually. Okay, let's kill these horrors. It should be a pretty easy instant resolve. That will finish the Shrine to the God Beast. Last the beats let out a spine-chilling scream, slumps to the ground. Alita rushes to its side as it takes its final breath. As she consoles the horror that was once her village mate, far in the distance, something monstrous howls with grief and fury. I hope you find peace now, daughter of Bor. One day, perhaps. Here's a map of ancient places as we promised. Careful what you wish for, though, kin of Sheredyn. So, we got some sort of reward, something I don't fully understand, but it was cool. So the city is making 86 production. When I rush this, it's now making 120, because I'm pretty sure all of, like, +5 production per adjacent district on every district is kind of insane. And that's probably going to need a balance pass. That's just straight up busted. My hero has leveled up. I think I would like to upgrade Patched Up. Being able to get a bigger heal will keep my army going a little bit better. And we have these Gorog here that we want to kind of clear out. We'll just do a quick instant resolve. Easy. We actually picked up an item there. I kind of clicked through a little bit quickly. That's another, not equipment for my hero. My hero's leveled up. I'll take the AoE ability. I like doing damage in an AoE. What is all that noise coming from the streets? It's the growing presence of black hammers in the city of Garin's Rest. The people are demonstrating. Why? Their skills with metals are excellent and they keep it themselves. That may be, but many view them as heretics and traitors, enemies of Garin. We want to keep them. We shall try to convert them. We'll spend some money trying to convert them to our religion. We can let the priests loose on them, make it clear that they will adopt our faith or risk exile. It feels heavy-handed, but I cannot allow dissension in the middle of war. Yeah, we need to keep our society united, unfortunately. Let's go pick this up. Found some detritus. It's supposed to trigger a quest, but I think the game has some little bugs here and there, and it's not. Oh, here we go. As your troops pick their way through the forest, they come upon a glade of fully fresh-cut trees and dead Blackhammer warriors. Whatever enemy killed them has disappeared, and there's no immediate clue to what happened. But as they prepare to hurry onwards, a lone figure appears. Murderers! What have you done? These were peaceful woodcutters. Even for your kind, this is an unthinkable atrocity. My soldiers have no blood on their weapons. There are no wounded. Stop your idiotic accusations, for my troops hunger and you are alone. Look at their wounds. They were crushed with great blunt weapons, not sharp edges. Well, what did happen? Find out for me, and some of the knowledge of the Black Hammers will be yours. So I need to use the remove forest in here once. This will get us industry in Garin's Rest. Well, let's do it. Need to cut down some forest in Morava. Figure out what happened. We need to do it on this tile that is submerged, so we won't be able to do that until the next Tidefall. Alright, we finished this, so we should be able to grab another foundation. We want to grow right there. And in here, we could either go for a farm or a forum. Either is acceptable to me. I'll go with the forum because I like having lots of production. Or I like having lots of influence. All right, awesome. You picked up a curiosity that healed you. Good work. You continue to explore. Population has become available in here. We will convert them to the divine. We have finished a stronghold. Let's grab some communal habitations on these two tiles. And then we'll grab ourselves another keep here. I may grab the keep first. So the titanium mine has been unlocked, as has the glass steel mine, and we can also build the blast furnace and remove forests now. So technology-wise, it'd be good for us to get collective will. That will allow us to upgrade our cities, so we'll grab that. This technology gives you access to 3 different ways to level up your cities. You can go with the Sanctity of Nature, which gives you +1 attachable territory and a little bit of food per adjacent districts, all that sort of stuff. You get the Beacon of Science, which gives you extra science and makes it cheaper to expand the city. And then you've got the Spire of Industry, which gives you a lot of production from your artisans and gives you artisan slots. I like the Beacon of Science personally, so we will be looking for strategic resources in time. We could lay down another outpost here. What I really want are a couple more of these explorers. So I'm going to build like 3 more of them so I can set them on auto explore. I'll send you down this way. There's like a little curiosity you picked up. Excellent. So we have found a hydromial deposit. This is a luxury resource. Speaking of luxuries, we can actually use song silk right now. Oh no, we need 20. Never mind. I think we should go pacify these guys. So we'll send our army down this way. What are you? Another luxury resource. Not exactly what we're looking for. Sending our scouts down to the southwest as well. We're looking for strategic resources. That's kind of like the big bottleneck of my empire at this moment. We'll send someone up to Copernicus over here to clear this out. Now, let's annex this tile, and this building will scale off of the adjacent ridge. So we'll get to work on that. We shall instantly resolve this. Awesome. Start clearing out these villages as well. Get some hydromial. Got another one to clear. Not the greatest outpost, but we could build it there. The good news is we have found some strategic resource deposits. We've got glass steel over here that we're going to want to get a control of, as well as some titanium deposits. So we are going to prioritize our expansion in this direction. Now we have ran into Prime, the one who stalks fire. This is the necrophage leader. So if we go ahead and encounter him with diplomacy, he is going to not like us. So let's go ahead and declare a closed border with him. I believe he has already closed borders with us, but if we counteract, that will lower our relationship and allow us to potentially declare some justified wars. But the necrophage are our enemy, fundamentally. One of my scouts was caught. Let's go ahead and get him out of there. We found a toughened gambeson. So if I come to this hero and I open up the equipment terminal here, we can equip this toughened gambeson, which will give us defense and health. Now, defense is a measure of how much damage the unit can avoid. So if I plug this in, you can see health going up by 20 hit points, an extra 3. But yeah, let's start this outpost. Here is fine. Okay, Empire approval is looking good. That gives us influence, dust, and science. We are going to want to improve the happiness of our cities. Currently, the capital city is Jubilant, and I believe Jubilance provides us with a bonus of 30% food and 30% industry. So locally, Jubilance will increase your food and production, whereas globally, it'll increase your dust, your science, and your influence. So that's important to keep in mind. That is an important breakdown. So the necrophage have become mean towards us, which is to be expected. We could build a blast furnace here, which would be just a straight up plus 10 production. I think we will build that. Then we'll grab ourselves another tile so that we can build another works district in here. This one will be plus 9 production. So we have finished researching collective will. We have access to the sanctity of nature, the beacon of science, and the spire of industry. We also have capital honors, which is going to give us a nice production boost in the capital. We would like to get markets here because we do want access to the tier 1 luxury quarries, as these will give us access to things like this hydromal deposit. Now we can attach this to a city once Garin's Rest is leveled up. In terms of districts, we're going to immediately get ourselves this glass steel mine, and we need to take out this Ochlings village. Now I don't believe we can rebuild those until we actually turn this into a city or annex it. We will be coming into the capital, and I think it would be nice to get a warsmith or an archer to add to our army. Let's grab an archer. Kind of move it to the top of the queue so we can add it to this stack. I'm going to start grouping up my my scouts for protection because they're having a little bit of trouble surviving with all the hostiles in the world. So if I group them up, it might be good. Now, something we want to do is, you can see these underground citadels. They're actually very, very valuable to clear because you get a huge injection of influence when you destroy them. So I'm going to go ahead and move over here and start looking to destroy that. And I'll even start moving my archer down towards them to join up. Join our legions together. Boom, there we go. I've got a 700 combat power legion that we'll be able to move in here. My units have leveled up a little bit, so they do have some veterancy. That's worth considering. We're starting to run out of population room in this town, so it might be worth it for us to start considering building communal halls. The next thing that I want to do, though, is I would really like to get a beacon of science. The extra science on laboratory is incredible, but also the influence cost and foundations. I'm a really big fan of that. That will allow us to expand this city and build it up a lot faster. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear this citadel. This is a level 1 citadel. So it has a tyrant of the fortress, a mighty warsmith, and 2 scholastics. These are ranged units. And the reward is dust, a random equipment, and a random uncommon consumable. We're going to plunder it for 600 influence. The other option is to turn it into an outpost, but I'm kind of more interested in the plunder. So we'll let our units line up as they expect to. And this chosen here gains shield when it attacks. So let's move our units up into position. With my hero, I'm going to cast Rain of Arrows to AoE hit our opponents. Boom, there it is. And then we'll come down and give this guy a nice attack from the upper ground. Take out this tyrant of the fortress. Now I expect to take a significant amount of damage in return on the next turn when they get a chance to retaliate. One of the things I quite like about the Endless Legend battles is they're quite quick. Especially if you put on the fast movement, like they play out pretty quick. Now I would like to get this cavalry out of here so as to protect it from things, but I can also patch it up. So let me give him a patch up and an attack and an attack and an attack. You've been made vulnerable. I might play defense on you, make you harder to kill. Let's use our chosen attacking downhill, wipe this guy out, and now we can retreat with this cavalry to a safe distance. And if we use a scoped shot on this guy, we should, in theory, be able to do a lot of damage. Now they can move forward to weaken this guy, but it's not the end of the world. We want to kill these ranged units first. Let's run forward with our chosen to clear this out. Yeah, you'll take a bit of damage, but that's fine. That's one enemy down. Shoot there and attack there. Nice. Now we'll take a bit of damage, but that's okay. Bam. Move you forward a tile. This guy should die. I need you to retreat to a safe distance. I'm hoping not to lose any units. Oh, it's close. Chosen, please finish. Ah, come on. Come on. Yeah. Okay, we managed to finish it without taking any losses. It was perfect. We major damage. 400 dust. We got a light mace, a cyadan crystal, and some poison salts. Whew. That was a tough battle. So those fortress battles are rough. Do keep that in mind. We do need another point here. It might be worth it for me to improve the determination here. That would make the heal better. It would make the AoE damage better. So let's do it. Intuition leveled up, and now he's level 8. Fort Raya is going. Let's create the divine population that we need. Make sure to put them onto the farming so they make lots of food. We definitely want the Legionnaires workshop in here, so we'll start working on that. That's going to give us a ton of extra production. We'll grab this for science, and we'll start making our way over here so we can place down. We definitely want to get this titanium in our control. Okay, we found a curiosity. Oh, we found a world wonder, or a natural wonder. This is the swaying tree of Sayada. It gives plus 10 health regen on units and cities. Food, extra food from population. Add plus 2 population slots and vocations. That is really cool. Very, very awesome. We'll want to get control of that if we can. 14 food, 2 production. We'll get that outpost going. And I believe we have built the Beacon of Science, although I didn't get the graphic that showed the city leveling up. We should now be able to attach. Yeah, we can attach a new place to Garin's Rest. Let me really quickly build myself another one of these scout units so I can build a camp over here. A markets research. So we got trading posts, which allow us to build roads between our territories. We have quarries. Trader trails, which will give us roads based on our highest technology, and we can now have more resource stocks, which is great. Since we have access to glass, steel, and titanium, there could be something worthwhile in researching things like garrison and guard posts, because these are going to allow us to increase the total fortification of a city. And if you remember correctly, the Kin of Sheredyn give you the military press, which gives you influence for every point of fortification on a city. So that is something that's very, very valuable. And the military press is built in a forum. So we're going to queue that up. Right now, that's going to be 13 influence, but that will provide yields and rewards as we continue to expand the capital. We will continue to expand the capital. Speaking of which, let's grab ourselves yet more productive laboratories. Science is quite important to us. We'll go ahead and build an outpost over here as well. As the world unfolds, so too does our understanding of it. Okay, we found the bottom of the map where there is nought to be learned. Backing the kids, Councillor Uerak, you have a matter concerning Garin's Rest. I do. Garin's Rest is a thriving little settlement, but I'd like to give you the youth of the place even more encouragement. They're restless. Encouragement for what? Fulfilling their potential, becoming their best selves, if you like. For the glory of the Empire, of course. Have you been reading self-improvement titles, Councillor? Never mind. How would this be achieved then? Via bursaries. We award the most outstanding young individuals in various fields. Mathematics, philosophy, commerce, pugilism. Generous grants to support the development. Sounds expensive. So we could do this and we'll gain food and growth in Garin's Rest, or we could get the conscription technology, which is kind of interesting because it gives us access to, would actually improve our keeps and give us access to a technology before we would normally have access to it. So I think I like the idea of getting conscription here. No youngster should be left behind. We'll fund the services of all of Garin's youths. We have some necrophage units here. These are things that we're going to want to be worried about and prepared to fight. So do keep that in mind. Look at you, Mr. Fancy Armor. Think you're pretty special, huh? This is an aggressive Solusk. Call me General, not Mister. The armor is quite fancy, and you are quite blind. As the proud leader of a powerful nation, of course, I can only answer yes, I am pretty special. Do you have nothing better to do with your time than insult passers-by? Ooh, even more fancy. Passers-by instead of passer-bys. Aren't we just the little prancing grammar pedants? You don't impress me. I once had an empire that ruled the entire world. From ice to ice. Further proof that history is widely and variably interpreted. I can prove it. I have maps and knowledge of things from one end of Sayada to the other, and you can't have them. Unless Well, of course, unless you give me a lot of dust. So if we have at least 30 dust income for 5 turns, we will get some kind of reward. That's kind of funny. We're fighting some foundlings here. We'll take that battle. Some glass steel. So we wanted to make an outpost over here. We'll get to work on it. Rasselhaig could be evolved into a city, although we don't want to do that just yet. We could have a very favorable battle with our enemies over here. I'm going to chill for a moment. We'll instantly resolve this, hopefully getting another 14 experience before we retreat to somewhere to heal up. And in here, yeah, the laboratory is coming online. Excellent. So we want to go and smash these necrophage units because they're inside our territory. This should be an easy instant resolve. We gain a bunch of money and a bunch of experience, which means our hero has leveled up. Upgrading the pinning volley seems like a good move, so we will do that. And we're waiting for you guys to get a little bit of healing. And let's make sure we keep getting divine service. Yeah, we needed 5 divines. That will get us +1 influence per divine. If we can get 10, we'll get more food, industry, influence, and dust. We would like to get to 10 if we could. All right, let's go pick up this item here and start clearing the minor villages around here, mostly for the experience. That's why we attack them. And we've got an outpost here that we can attach to Garin's Rest, which will help make the city even better. We're going to grab this anomaly. And the important thing about anomalies is they're actually very, very, very good for science districts. Let's make sure we build another scout in here. I will even quick buy it so that we have a full stack of these scout units because they've actually been buffing each other's movement. Highly mobile group. It's probably not intended. All right, so now we have access to the garrison, which is an improvement to the fortress. We also have access to the guard post, which is again improvement, and the governor's retinue. So in terms of technology, it would be nice to get the Iron Games so we can get a new hero. So I'll start researching the Iron Games. I'll bring this stack of units down here to start clearing this out. We definitely want to get to get control of this area. So I'll put an outpost right there. I'll park you on our territory for a turn to get you healed up, because we've got a lot of potential necrophage fighting ahead of us. We're converting our production into influence, which is not terrible. Perhaps it would be good for us to keep building science. Although we do have some improvements that we want to build in certain places. Like, for example, +20 district fortification on districts. That'd be good. We probably want to build another fort over here. So let's do that. This part of the city is not encapsulated in walls. So the prime one who stalks a fire has declared war on us. If we take this fight, it looks like we would lose. So I'm going to recruit a couple of archers to prepare a defensive force over here. I'll move my hero towards our outpost and then put our archers adjacent as a protective force. They're fighting over here. They'll do their own thing. Fort Raya has finished some construction. We built the Legionnaire's workshop. It would be nice to get the garrison as well. One thing we're missing here is a trading post. This will give us dust, but more importantly, it will give us roads. We'll start to build roads for us. And that's something we're going to want. Roads between all of our zones. But yeah, I'm sitting here with a big old smile on my face because I'm enjoying the game, man. Let's train another archer plus a chosen, and then we'll put a hero into this army once we actually have recruited another hero. That's a lot of units that we're up against. It's kind of concerning, actually. We're under attack here. It should be a pretty easy instant resolution. And we'll finish that outpost. Population grew. May as well get a divine. Yeah, we're up against a very large enemy army. We will get to work on that. Clear you out. Instant resolve. That's one of these foundlings that have been cleared. I'd like to attach this to Fort Raya. That will help Fort Raya continue to develop. And I would like to get Seginus inside here if we could. Okay, Champion of our Times is completed, which means we should, in theory, be able to get a hero. We have been attacked. Can we clear this? Should be an easy clear. We got some battle spoils. Awesome. Coming in here, we're going to want to repair these, take a few turns. And now we can choose a hero. So we have a choice of 4 different Sheredyn heroes. We did have some pretty good stuff for a mage. Unfortunately, we did not roll a mage. We already have an archer. We could go for another archer. We have a potential. So he would be growth cost of all population is down. Motherland Sacrifice would make units cheaper. For the badge would make keeps more powerful. Rancher would make farms better. For the badge feels kind of powerful, actually, on Hanji's ability there. He is a defender. I'm kind of torn between Kata Labo being the really good archer and Hanji being a good defender. I'm going to go ahead and get Hanji here. So when defending, okay, You've got War Machine. Adds 10% max health to non-hero units. So this is a defensive ability. Or no, it's an intuition ability. Then you've got Strong Defenses, which is a might power. You've got a knockback. So infantry are strong at attacking ranged units. They can cross fortifications. They gain defense for each adjacent friendly unit. You have an active skill, Shield Shockwave, and you're a defense expert. Okay. I'll go for strong defenses to make this hero harder to break. Okay, let's accept this battle outcome. Now, instant resolve would have us lose a couple of units. Perhaps I should fight this battle manually. Maybe we can get a better result. Okay. They came forward pretty heavily already. Let's get our Chosen out here with big damage. Our hero can probably finish this. I can't quite tell. There we go. Kill an enemy unit right there. Defend in front. You defend here. So we've already killed a couple of the enemy units. So let's see what they do. Yeah, they're definitely going for the hero, and they're hitting us with that unceasing hunger. Ooh, their ranged attack on my hero. Oh, that was way too much damage. That was more damage than I was expecting on my hero. That happens. I don't mind losing his scout. I didn't want to lose my hero though. Lost another unit. Ouch. Kill you. Kill you. Kill you. Downhill strike and a strike. So they've got 2 units left. Just their ranged units. Ouch. Oh, they got another unit over here. Melee strike. Melee strike. Ranged attack. And a ranged attack? Come on, give me that kill. Perfect. Perfect. All they got is this thing over here now. The spitter. We'll move forward. We will attack. Impress me. I had to reload because I experienced a bug from the treasury. Unfortunately, there's a lot more. And your side of the bargain? Okay, here you are. I'll just be on my way then. Did I mention your armor? Wonderful stuff. Robust. Very practical. So I'm not really sure what I got, but little story quest unlocked there. There we go. I think it's working now. So my hero was wounded, which was sad, and my sentinel was damaged, but we got a lot of gold out of that battle. I have a new hero ready. Let's quick buy this. We'll get a couple of sentinels to fill these guys out. So we can spend dust to speed up the regeneration of the hero. Tech-wise, we just finished Iron Games. This would allow us to upgrade our units. It would be nice to be able to pacify another minor faction, so I will grab that. Foreign Affairs. So we're going to build a temporary bridge across here because we want to get a outpost in here somewhere. I have a ton of influence in the bag. And let's get scout units into each stack so they have extra movement. We'll move out next turn. Yeah, we want our trading posts. So let's build the trading post here. I'll build a trading post over here and a trading post right here. It'll cost us a little bit of money, but that will start building roads between our territories. You can see here this little road from this trading post to over here. All right, so let's push out and see if we can claim this titanium. We're in the process of building a temporary bridge. Okay, things are looking cool. We're chilling. Let's go take these guys on. They should retreat. Yeah, they retreated from a battle. Damn right you retreated from a battle. Let's start building an outpost. Contains an uncleared fortress. We have to clear the fortress before we can build an outpost there. You do get your trading post. I think it would be good for us to get another trading post in here. So that's what we'll work on, just so we can get our empire linked up and have roads in between different places. I think we will build a outpost right there. That feels like a good little spot. Coming into Fort Raya. You got your trading posts, we're linked up. That's good, 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 good. There are a few anomalies it would be nice to get control of, these over here. I would also like to build more communal stuff to get the happiness in here. So I'll get a communal thing right there, and then we'll come back and study this city. We're under attack. Should be an easy instant resolve. Unfortunately, you can't auto-resolve the battles in the fortresses, so I am going to have to fight that manually. We'll tackle that next turn. Okay, I think we're under attack. We may have to fight. They retreated, and when you retreat, you lose half your health. So there is a big downside to retreating on the enemy. I'm going to claim this tile here and build a stronghold. They are up into the Jubilant territory. I would like to be slightly higher, so I will get another communal dwelling to make that even better. Kin of Sheredyn over here. Let's keep on converting this city to the Kin of Sheredyn. We need so many of them, the divine people. If we're going to get this benefit here, we need to get 10 of them. And once we get 10, we're really cooking and we're really happy. So we have access to diplomatic cadre, so we can take control of another faction. So we could get the foundlings here. This would give us health regen. I don't know if we necessarily care about that. Let's repair these guys. What do they do again? Yeah, they make ranged units better. Influence per pacified village on forums. That'll be a nice one. He's willing to give me a peace deal. Okay, we're dominating you. Get wrecked, loser. However, just because we're at peace doesn't mean I can't keep fighting you. Cleared him out. It just means I'm not going to attack your cities. I think we'd like to get the cofferdam to improve our bridge districts. We are 1 tech away from tier 3 technologies. And the strength of our zeal has reached a new level. We can now extract resources from deposits directly, which is really quite powerful. So we can just get titanium. Very cool. We would like to attach this to Fort Raya. However, Fort Raya has not leveled up yet. And the Spire of Industry is quite powerful, but I do prefer the Spire of the Beacon of Science because of the 50% influence cost on Foundations. I think that's kind of a fun one. I'll spend a little bit of gold to rush this along. Now my hero has leveled up twice. We went for defense, the might skill. Go ahead and get you some of these defensive resilience abilities. Pull you back to heal up a smidge. Spyglass of the Sages found. All right, very cool. So we should have roads now going between, you can kind of see the roads going between all our different trading posts, which is good. That'll make it easier to move around our empire. We do have some slums now. Some of our population, we're overpopped in here. That means we need to build some community halls, as these will provide locations for our pops to work. So let's buy this foundation and we'll get ourselves communal habitations right there. Each communal habitation gives you +1 of each job type, which is plenty. Oh, what the hell is that thing? I don't like the look of it. All right, let's go clear this. We're going to plunder it for 1200 influence. We'll manually fight this battle. We'll bring our chosen up here, you to there. You defend, step forward and step forward. We'll start softening you up. Now you have an active ability. You knock the target back. I don't think we need to do that. Enemy range units have been weakened significantly. Although I don't actually know if they're ranged. Go ahead and knock him back. Boom. Oh, the shockwave. I see. Whew. So I don't exactly remember what we were doing because a little bit of time has passed. But I reckon we can get this kill over here. We'll soften this guy up. We may as well get an attack in here. The alarm went off in my building, and then I was tired because I'm not well. I'm a little sick at the moment, so I took a nap, and then I had dinner, and so like I don't remember where we were or what we were doing. Let's try and take out these units one by one with a focus. All right, so I think this guy is like stuck. Yeah, he's lost all of his movement points. In fact, most of my units have lost most of their movement points, which is a little annoying. It's okay, we can shoot this guy a little bit, and while we will take some damage, he won't be able to completely stop us. Get that flank on in there. 1, 2, and that's the wrap. So our hero's leveled up, I think, anyway. We got 400 dust. We got a toughened Gambison, a Cipher of Horror, which is a consumable, and we also got the Ceramo Weave bow. That could actually be really useful for our ranged hero. So we cleared this. We have been attacked. No, we haven't. So where do we want to put our outpost? I think we could put the outpost right here. I'll put it on this tile, so that'll keep these guys busy for a few turns. And because these guys are actually pretty low on health, I'm going to use the Replenish Faith ability to heal them up. So it looks like they are trying to burn down one of my tile improvements. I'm going to move up with this army and let's upgrade. You got 2 hero points. So you're good at defense. You got some good resilience. I think it would be good if we got the pile driver for the extra damage. And so now if we level up might, we will actually get damage and defense, making this hero quite a bit stronger. I'll take the extra maximum health as well. Just better stats on your hero can only be a good thing. We do need to make sure we equip one of these Gambisons. +1 determination, +1 intuition. This guy already has really high determination, so it might be good for us to focus on skills that benefit from that. So we'll probably unlock these as time comes along. And then in terms of consumable, we'll grab ourselves the Poison Salt's power here. Deals 30 damage and inflicts vulnerable. Very cool. We'll give him that so that he can use that in battles. Now let's take these guys on. So we will confirm the attack. They will retreat. That's fine. It's all part of the plan. Our ranger hero has been revived. So we'll start making our way. Let's just bribe these villages so we don't have to rebuild them. And the reasoning behind that is it means we can get them assimilated pretty much instantly and start getting a really nice boost to our influence. So we pacified 6 villages. This is a competitive deed. I don't actually know what you get for doing that, but it's a competitive deed nonetheless. And we got one of their units. We got a Harper. In fact, we got 2 Harpers. So, okay. So bribing actually gets you a unit. Now these are flying with Inspiring Strike. So it improves inspired to units adjacent. When attacking, adjacent friendly units get inspired. Range 3 and flying. Oh, very cool. So these are like bird bards. It's cool concept. And now we can, well, soon we will be able to annex these in. But actually, we can attach this to Fort Raya immediately. And then we should be able to get the Nokwensi into our empire for 160. So let's add them. That's going to give us a lot of influence on our forums, which is very exciting. Fort Raya is ready to expand. There's plenty of room for population. We would love to continue to grow. What we're going to do down here is we definitely want to annex a few of these tiles. So like this, I'm trying to remember, what are you? Are you an anomaly? I can't tell. We would like to get that anomaly right there and maybe a permanent bridge. The question is, do we want a defended bridge with fortifications, or do we want the market bridge? I think we're going to go for a defended bridge right there, and we'll do the same over here on this defended bridge so we can cross these rivers a little easier, and we'll put forts next to them and do all that sort of stuff. We'll work on it. But yeah, we definitely want to get more food in here so we can grow. Coming into Play in A, we're pumping production into influence, and we would also like to grow and produce in this city. So I'm going to grab this tile right here and place a farm, a communal habitation right there so we can get more population slots. We have completed cofferdam, so we'll have the Traveler's Shrine, the Fluvial Patrol, and the Sleek Formation. So my units will actually move faster. And this will lead to tier 3 technologies. Now, certain aspects of the tier 3 technologies we won't be able to build. You can see here because we need to have the tier 3 resource, which we don't have access to. Now, we could get the Lazulian and Hyperium mines nice and early, but there really isn't a huge amount that we can do in here. Like, for example, Collective Sacrifice requires future Tidefall, so we could get ourselves another hero. There are lenses here. This would give us extra vision range in our armies, as well as access to sentry scopes, which would give us extra citizen slots and mirrored defenses. This one definitely does seem like it could be worth it to get. I also like the idea of going for material science. The geodesic dome would give us 10 base science, and then the observatory point would give us extra science and population slots on scribes. So I think I would like to get that up. Now, unlocking the third era here has given us +1 city cap, as well as the experience increase on our units, although they will cost more. And we're also looking at Archer Militia, which is kind of exciting, as well as the Herald of the Faith, which is a cavalry unit, an actual fighting cavalry unit rather than a scouting cavalry unit, which is kind of an exciting and interesting idea. We have a new era. Greetings, General Natalia Shaparenko. This is Yeza Kirha, the Nokwensi consultant. Gifts can be dangerous and favors expensive, but please speak, Nokwensi, I will listen. As all my kind, I've studied the ancient lays and stories, but my particular interest is on all things medical and the sciences of healing. You have my attention and my interest. Based on ancient methods, I would educate your doctors, alchemists, and pharmacists, a potential boon to your armies and cities. An interesting proposition. Let us consider the options. So let's see. We could get quick recovery on our legions forever. We could get an industrial mishap for science, or refuse. I'm going to go ahead and promote this and take that extra healing. +20 healing every turn for the rest of the game is really powerful. I see no reason that our troops should have anything but the finest medical treatments. Tell us of your trespassing, your trepanning leeches and mercury. I see that there is much I can do for you, most glorious. Yeah, that's really cool. So from now on, our units will heal faster, which is great. So they're trying to burn down my stuff again. Let's go ahead and attack once again. We will confirm this, and we will instantly resolve it. They cannot retreat this time. We'll gain a bunch of battle spoils. We'll kill all their units. This hero has leveled up once again. You have a very high determination, so I think I'm going to grab this accusation. It will ignore the defensive targeted unit, deal 30% of the hero's damage, and an extra 5 damage per determination, and applied weakened. So very good for taking out units. We'll grab that ability. And I would like to create another city, and I do think that this area here is potentially a very good area. However, something I'm missing is perhaps I could have rewilded this with geology, but I think I'm just going to create a city here with these 3 tiles. I think that is a reasonable thing to do. So let's go ahead and evolve this into a city. Now, we want to get our approval up in here. So let's have a look at where our anomalies are. Resource extraction is over here. There's an anomaly here. I think we could create a nice group of communal dwellings right here. So let's go ahead and do that. This city is going to need some resources injected into it. We're going to attach you, Brave Station here. We're going to do a restore to hopefully repair some of the tiles in this city to improve them because they're a little bit weak. We'll send this scouting cavalry army off to the east. We have been attacked. We can confirm and instantly resolve, gaining some battle spoils and experience. I will drop a unit out of this army so that I can put the archer hero in here, so we have another hero-led stack. And we could level up the determination of this hero to make his skills better. That would give us extra damage and healing. Improving the might, however, would allow him to do a lot more damage. And then he would get a lot of value out of some of these skills, though. So, like, Triumph and Celebration would be a great way to earn influence. I do like the idea of giving experience to the units in the army. Yeah, let's grab Patient Mentor. I think that's a good one. So thinking about this, the Ametrine villages have been damaged. The Foundlings here should probably be cleared. We'll attack and instant resolve this. Perfect. We grabbed ourselves some Red Sang as well. We've also got a splintered prison here that we will want to invade and deal with. Now, Garin's Rest. So let me come in here, and there's a few things I want to do. One of them is to continue pumping science in here. The other one is to get growth. I'm going to do a restore on the landscape to hopefully improve the quality of the land here. And Fort Raya, I'm going to do a restore in here. So I'll keep my cities busy for a little while. I'm not entirely sure what restore does. I think it just improves the quality of the land. And I think we could spend a little bit of time improving the quality of our land. I definitely want to capture more of these resource extraction things. So like, I'm going to build a quarry on this Clax and a mine on this titanium. Let's take this army out. I have to revoke open borders. I definitely did not give this guy open borders, excuse me, game. Enact closed borders. How dare you. Let us move forward here and see if we could maybe... Perhaps it would be good for us to build a outpost here. There's a lot of nice things like dust magma and stuff there. We're not too far away from the next monsoon, and we may wish to consider declaring war on our neighbor. So we restored the land in here. I don't know what that actually did for us. Like, it would be kind of interesting if it would show you the tiles that were impacted. Let's zoom out a little bit and look at, there's definitely an anomaly here that would be an efficient pickup. There's an anomaly over here that would be an efficient pickup. I zoom out a little bit. I think I see an anomaly right there that we definitely want. So that's going to leave us with a decent setup. And this is, honestly, this could be a really good city to go for a lot of gold, right? Build these trading posts, surround them with merchants, houses, the whole shebang. What we will build for sure, though, is to get our strongholds, because they're incredibly valuable. I forgot to mention, actually, as we level up the strength of our zeal, our fortresses get stronger. You can see here +1 influence, and then over here on the second tier, you've got +2 industry. On the third tier, you've got approval. On the fourth tier, you've got dust and science. And then on the final tier, I believe you get a 10% boost to all yields on them, which is really, really good. Let's have a look. We could do a Song Silk boost, which would give us +10 industry on every city. That seems pretty good. I'll take that. I'll help us get our empire up and running. And I'll push out this keep in here. We need the city to be happier. And keeps provide a lot of happiness. But we also need the Legionnaires workshop, so we'll slowly work towards that, as it's just a huge amount of production. It's really what it comes down to. So we honored a truce. It's kind of interesting. Let's build an outpost right there. I want to clear these guys out. They'll retreat. Okay, we're in the process of restoring the land. Not that I know what that does. We've unlocked the geodesic dome, the observatory point, and the large-scale research, which gives us a boost to science. It would be nice to get improvements to the scriptorum. We'll start researching that too. And then coming into these science districts, improving districts that are adjacent to forums is good, because forums get extra influence. So we'll build that plus science here. We're light on titanium. We could buy some. The world does not have a lot of stock, but I will buy some anyway. And then we'll build the observatory point as well. We could convert 2 more people to divine pops. So let us do that. Divine pops make good farmers, in my opinion. And then the black hammers make great scribes. Okay. So we're on the edge of enemy territory. Ooh, and look at their cities. They're all organic. These are like wind turbines or something. That's kind of interesting. So we could choose to declare... Oops, I moved a little bit too aggressively there. We could choose to declare war on them. I don't know if that's necessary at this time, but it is something that we could do. Armies can use this nest to enter their underground tunnels. Oh my god, they have underground tunnels? That's crazy. So in order to declare a justified war, we need their opinion to be very low. I think I will declare an unjustified war soon, but not right now. In the near future. Okay, so they're unhappy that my armies are close to their borders. You know what, let's declare the unjustified war now. And we will put the city to siege. So there will be 2 new breaches next turn. We could assault, and then the instant resolve shows this being pretty straightforward victory for me, so we will instant resolve that. And now we can choose a capture action on this city. We can occupy it and take control of it. take 5 turns. We can sack it, or we can raise it. I feel like dealing with the necrophages, like raising feels like the right vibe, you know what I mean? Like just kick them out of the map. So yeah, we'll raise this. It feels like the right thing to do. Burn down what they have built. There's the scriptorium. We'll be able to turn glass steel into more influence. Excellent. Let's grab geology. We'll make camps cheaper to build. I'm trying to build up our cities as tier 2 monsters. You're working on that Legionnaire's Workshop. Let's boost that along and get some more of those strongholds. Wrath of the Skies could do damage to enemy units. Very cool. Oh, Jesus, they just spawned a whole bunch of units. That's crazy. Whatever it is they just did, they either came through the burrow or they spawned. That was super cool. I really want to play the necrophage now. Oh, interesting. Oh, these are so gross. These little necro drones. Ugh. Their little weird little mouths. Yeah, let's grab the hammer strike. This will deal 60% of the hero's damage to targeted units and an extra 5 damage per determination. That would be an extra 25 damage and slow them. So we'll grab hammer strike. It's a good skill for you. We're in the process of raising. Fort Raya is ready for more stuff. I'm going to build a forum here because forums like scaling off improved districts, and then I'll improve the district beside it. Keeping that up and running. Expecting a counterattack. The city is not perfectly happy, so we'll keep building communal habitations to get that up a little bit. There's some cheaper land over here as well that we could make do with. Might be good for us to build a little bit of farming in and around here. We do have this nice river tile right there, so if we built a farm, we could maybe pump up the food in the city too and grow new pops quicker. We've got a little farm building there. I have not unlocked the seed bank. Well, that will be something we work on. There's plus 10 approval available from the fluvial patrol, so we'll build that improvement. We are under attack down here, and according to the instant resolve, we'll only use scout cavalry. We'll only lose scout cavalry, which is fine. I don't care about that. I can bring up the harpers to reinforce. We'll do our own little bit of counter-attacking. Brave Station has finished its production. The kin of Sheredyn, we just need a few more pops, and then we'll unlock their tier 2 bonus, which is really good. So yeah, we want a forum right here because it's adjacent to all the stuff. I'll put a trading post right there and a trading post here for the roads. They'll keep you nice and busy. Make sure you guys are focused on production. Let's keep converting these guys to the divine pops. We just hit 10, I think. Yeah, we're at 10 of 20 now, so we get that extra +1 food, production, influence, dust, and science on every single divine pop, which is huge, by the way. Stability in Fort Raya is low. We will solve that problem in time. Yeah, all of our cities are churning and producing. So there's geology. We have access to rewild. We're better at predicting the seasons. There's a little bit of science from our camps. Camps are cheaper to make. It would be good for us to get better seed banks, and possibly even better diplomacy. Raya has finished its production queue. Actually, I want to make sure that I cancel this so this city is always getting prompted for work. So this forum, I think it would be good to build a scriptorium that's 10 influence per turn, which is really quite powerful. We'll grab that anomaly. We'll grab this anomaly. Now the city is linked up. Let's go to the next turn. We have raised a camp or city over here in Tania Borealis. Let's take out these guys. All right, they have fled. We will chase them down again. Instant resolution, wiping them off the map. Now we can start to expand over here, perhaps even looking to attack deeper into the enemy territories. I'll pop over to the next turn. I do like how these cities have connected up their walls. There's something nice about that. Like we've created this incredibly fortified network. I think we would like to settle right here, adjacent to these two anomalies. So we'll get to work on that as we explore around. Okay, Garin's Rest. Let's have a look at what kind of improvement. So this forum here could get an improvement. Yeah, we should definitely take that +10 influence per turn in here. That feels worth it. And coming in here, I mean, we should almost certainly build another forum for the purpose of building the thing that gives influence based on the defense of the city. So we'll get that underway. Your trade ports are coming up. That's good. It's going to link up our empire with roads. We'll also want to make you another one of these Beacon of Sciences. So we'll queue that up, push that through, and then we'll be able to link more territory in here, which will be good. Okay, very nice. All right, what do we have going on in here? You have leveled up my hero. I think getting influence from battles is really nice. So I'll take that skill. It's +20 influence per battle. This village is wary. I think we could bribe it for an extra unit, and I have now become a big fan of the bribe action now that I know you get extra military units from doing the bribe. That makes the bribe a lot more valuable to me. I thought it was just like in Endless Legend 1 where, you know, it's like, oh, they become neutral, and it's like, whatever. But actually bribing is extremely powerful for military tempo. Let's have a look at this next city that we'll look to maybe raise. And then actually let's bribe another location. We have been attacked. We should be able to instantly resolve this for good value. Perfect. And I'm wondering if maybe you could begin the assault. Oh wow, they didn't have any defenses in here, so we can just start raising it right away. Huge. This lady is also leveled up. I'm trying to remember what her skills were. I think I was working towards this here, spinning top. So deals 75 of the hero's damage to targeted units. This is a circle area effect and deals extra damage per determination and applies slowed. So I think this is an upgrade to the slowing strike, hammer strike. Yeah, perfect. So seed bank has been researched. We have access to the laborer's hut, the granary, prize crops, and toil in the fields. Looking through some of these things, we have not yet unlocked the strategic resources that are required for some of these things. This would give us an extra protectorate slot, which is pretty good. Ooh, martial discipline and legion vaults. I would like the wisdom of Garin, actually. Let's go ahead and research that. So they want white peace. They would give us money. I'm going to refuse that because we're in the middle of... We are dominating them. We will demand their surrender eventually, but for now, we're just going to keep attacking. Garin's Rest is ready for new production. It's hard to remember what we were doing. I think the more buildings that you have built in a territory, the more districts you have built, the more expensive they are. So it is good to build districts throughout your different areas. So like here, building that laborer's hut for plus 10 food, or rather like if I were to start annexing tiles over here and building stuff here, it would be more efficient, basically. See, it only takes one turn, whereas buildings over here will take multiple turns. I think I will grab myself some extra farms. This is near an anomaly, so I'll go for some laboratories. May as well keep making some kin of Sheredyn. The divine population, very strong. Fort Raya has grown. Let's have a look at improvements. So I could build the open stage here, which is influence and population on scribes. We could build 2 farming districts here adjacent to this, which would be pretty influence efficient, especially if we were to upgrade them, so we will do that. Okay, awesome. We've taken control of Tania Borealis. We never cleared this over here, which is possibly a mistake. It's fine. We should definitely look to take control down here. In this place, I will do a rewilding, and that should take all of these sort of low yield tiles and put some forest on them. At least as far as I understand it. The rewilding is kind of a cool and interesting idea. So the wisdom of Garin is researched. We have access to martial discipline. This can be built once per city. We've also got the legion vaults, which is once per empire. Important to note there. And this is going to give us plus 4 influence on improvements. So if we pop in here and we look at some of the improvements that are available to us, the once per empire plus 50 district fortification on district and unlocking extra militia is kind of cool. There's 3 militia in this city. That's kind of interesting. I'm going to go for martial discipline in here. And I will probably look to build myself another fortress right here. And then I may as well put a forum here because the adjacent districts will be improved. And forums get plus 2 influence for every adjacent improved district. So it's a slight little efficiency thing. I don't know if it's like super good or super important, but I do like to play around the things that the game encourages you to do. I think it's fun and interesting to do. We don't need regeneration. We would like just 10% more everything in this city. Okay, this city is mutinous. Approval from war fatigue. I see. Okay. So we'll want to piece them out next turn if we can. I think mutinous is hurting our yields. However, we will continue to build fortifications. Although I think if I built some fortifications over here, they would be cheaper, right? Yeah, 2 turns rather than 4. We're 2 techs away from tier 4 technology, which is very interesting. Let's improve our research grants, see how much tech we can get. Good news on the economic front, Councillor. Of a kind, our mining hub Garin's Rest has a surplus of special ores. I suggest we let a skilled local artist use them to produce a beautiful collection that honors the kin of Sheredyn. What kind of pieces are we talking about? Cutting-edge contemporary art, abstract forms with sharp lines and sculpted points that speak to the kin of Sheredyn's collective subconscious. On-trend stuff. Intriguing. So we could gain some influence, some gold, or make our units stronger. Let's grab the influence. We'll support the modern art. And then let's build a little outpost here. Let's open up diplomacy. Let's talk to these guys and we'll demand that they surrender. Okay. They refused to surrender. I'm going to send my hero back to this area here because I want to go explore this. We never got around to doing that. Fort Raya is still content. Now I believe these defended bridges, they get a bonus if they're adjacent to a keep. So it would be good for me to build a keep here. I'll put a keep right there. And then I suppose I will put one here as well. That'll make both of these a little happier. That'll help with our contentedness. Let's talk to these guys and we'll just say, all right, white peace. They refused. Well, I mean, it's your right to let your empire get burnt to a crisp, I guess. All right, let's start building some outposts and keep following along. Oh, wow. They're dead. They're gone. So I'm no longer at war with anyone. We killed them. Nice. Very cool. I've never killed anyone before. It's kind of made me feel powerful. Okay, Garin's Rest. We would like to build the open stage. I'll look at improvements here. Yeah, we want the Legion vaults. We want the granary. We want the guard post. And we want the open stage. I think we got basically all of the little improvements that are available to us right now. That'll keep the city busy for a little while. Let's convert another people to kin of Sheredyn. To the divine population, rather. We'll move those over to the farming side of things. Shaving turns off our growth. Yeah, so we want to get to that 20 divine population so we can get that rejuvenation dust cost reduction and basically all of the reductions on this stuff here. Now, it might be good for us to also build up some black hammer pops. So perhaps we will start growing black hammers in Fort Raya. And that is a thing that we can do. We can choose which pops we grow in here. So we'll start growing some black hammers in Fort Raya. We've got a few tiles that we could improve. Like this forum right here could take the open stage. It's a nice influence boost. The farms here could get the laborer's hut. That's 10 food right there. And then we've also got the granary, which is plus 5 food and 80 food stock, which helps deal with being under siege, or if the city goes into negative food for whatever reason, it gives you a little bit of a buffer before population starts starving. So it's quite nice. But yeah, man, I'm just like, God, I'm really, really, really enjoying the game. The aesthetics are incredible and beautiful. Also, I like that your mouse, you can kind of poke your population. I don't know, let me see if I can find a farm. There's usually people working on farms that you can poke. Okay, so see this guy, right? If I put my mouse over him, poke, 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 poke. He's trying to get me off him. Touch, 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 touch. Small little interactive things like that always make me happy in a game. Classic example was like clicking on a sheep until it explodes in Blizzard games. Okay, so what do we got here? Some sort of quest collectible. All right, we're doing the exploration. Got some Auchlings over here. I know the Auchlings are really good at generating gold. Brave Station continues to develop. It's running at a population room, but that's okay. We should probably attach another tile to it. We'll attach you, and we're going to do this. The trading post likes being adjacent to resource deposits. So we'll build it right there. And these are both resource deposits right here. So it's very happy. Then we'll grab this anomaly. Zoom out a little bit. There's another anomaly right here that we'd like to grab. We'll kind of grow to that. And yeah, we'll keep building strongholds. That is what my faction does. We are the fortress people. So there's a research station. Plus 8 science if adjacent to an anomaly on laboratories districts. This is great. We've also got the wildlife lookout, which gives you science on foundations. So these are 2 that will massively scale up our power. And then we've got a little bit of science on city halls and ministries. And a new monsoon has come to Sayada. So now we get more yields on battle spoils. Our units can't see as far, but they heal faster. So prime one who stalks as far. You settled near a burrow. Interesting. His burrow still exists. It must be kind of, there's probably some bugs to do with eliminating factions because this is an early version of the game, which is pretty reasonable and understandable. Let's go ahead and rewild this. And we've got these nice floating rocks that we can go touch that will give us some dust, but as well, extra healing and movement, letting us explore and do everything that we need to. And then we'll get to see the second Tidefall after this monsoon is done. Yeah, man, the thematics and the feeling of the Tidefall is just so incredible. Like, that is the thing that they nailed in this game, okay? The game feels incredible. The vibes are on, dude. So we're into the Years of Revelation. This has given us an extra city cap, I believe. If I check... No, we were already using that city cap, okay. So what's going on here? We've got, like, floodplains, requires... these strategic resources that we don't have yet. Mercenaries, hire Doomwraith Hunters. Oh, and digs, precision for season predictability, scour landscaping action, galvanization. Some really interesting stuff going on there. The Gaze of Garin, cheaper districts and improvements. Oh, it's locked. Sorry, we're one more tech away from that. Sorry. Arboreal Insights. Well, we need to get steam mining, and so we shall. We can appoint a new council member. So district improvements are cheaper, food and influence on the capital, extra battle spoils. Oh, extra yields on keeps is really interesting. So let's go for extra yields on keeps. And I'm going to change this guy to even cheaper districts. So we could just build all the districts. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I like this. The extra yields on keeps is kind of exciting. Boom. I do like how this faction really rewards you for leaning into their identity of being like fortifiers. They build defensive structures and all that sort of stuff. There's something really satisfying and interesting about that as a gameplay idea. And like, here's the thing, the game feels incredible to play, and this is a preview build. It's not even like early access. I don't even know if you would call this an alpha. Like, I don't know what exactly you would call this, but I know what I feel about it, and it feels incredible. It feels so incredibly fun to play, to the point where I'm like, if I would pre-order the game based off this, right? I'd be like, this game is, yeah, I'm in. Like, it's not even a question. That's how good I think this preview is. It's like, this is just a good game. It's worth playing right now. So I want to evolve. I'm kind of curious about what the penalty is for going over your city limit is. So I'm going to evolve this into a city. So like, what is the penalty? Okay, so it's a stability malus from being overexpanded. That's fair. That's reasonable. Let's start making our keep districts. Now, which territories do I want to attach? I reckon we'll attach Prima Hieradron. I guess we could attach Defada, actually, although we need to save up some influence for that. We'll get the Legionnaires Workshop. Boom. Look at that. 23 production, already churning production. And then Martial Discipline. It's just, again, boosh. We found some levitations. Curiosity provides the following yields. We got some dust down here. It's always worth it to explore these like little floating rocks. They're always worth it, in my opinion. Fort Raya has grown. We do have some improvements we could build. The Martial Discipline, which gives food, industry, and influence on the city, so we'll grab that. And there's fluvial patrols that are available to us as well. It's another 10 approval. Probably not the most important thing to build right now. I think it would be nice if there was like a excess approval mechanic where, like, you know, you take your excess approval, you know, if you reach the square root bonus or whatever, you would like, then a cube root or whatever, you know, you slowly get these stacking bonuses. I think there could be good. There's some like interesting design space there, I think, that I would be curious to see what the developers could explore. So we got Lazuelin Mines. We have access to Lazuelin. Hyperium Mines. We've got the Builder's Quarters and Reinforced Caverns, which makes extra stock for resources on exploited mines. Awesome. So we're in the new era. The Gates of Garin would be nice to build up our district a little faster. We'll keep picking up these nice little floating rocks. Garin's Rest is ready for improvements. I'm trying to see, are there any things that we want to build in here? We could build a foundation. We could build another one of these defended bridges. We could also build a market bridge. I do like the defended bridge. They're kind of they kind of excite me. I like them. They're just kind of neat. I think it would be interesting if there was a way to tell if there are improvements that I could build that I haven't just yet. I think what I'll do is I'll go for the easy adjacency around these anomalies, and then I'll link them with a forum. So that'll keep you busy for a few turns. We're finding levitations. These are the special resource that appears during the flood. Finding these gorgeous curiosities. Brave Station here is, it's missing the Martial Discipline. Now, interestingly, that actually makes this individual district weaker because it's kind of weird how that works. Yeah, let's grab that tile right there and we'll build a little forum on it. We'll end our turn. Let's attach Prima Hyatum to tall trees. So there we have it. We've made it kind of like a city over here that will continue to expand and build up over time. Let's build a trading post here plus some keeps. Copernicus. Yes, okay. Picking up this resource. Oh, we wanted to go do this mission. I am super curious about the next Tidefall. So we're kind of getting into the area of the game where I have not experienced much, but we are getting towards the end of what's available in this preview build. But man, there's something really crunchy about the game. I have a lot of fun playing it. So I definitely want you guys in here, and then you guys are best as scribes, you're best as artisans, and then where you go, it doesn't really matter. Let's pop down a bunch of fortresses down here in this area to surround this. And that is what our empire loves. It likes those nice fortified tiles. Ooh, there's a Doom Wraith over here. Spooky. All right, we'll take these guys on. We'll do a quick instant resolve. Thank you for that. We are continuing to explore. Brave Station is in need of guidance. We'll build a little bit of science near these anomalies because we like that science per turn. Great Sword. So we've got upgraded versions of certain units. Chosen are stronger. It's cheaper to build districts and improvements. Oh, these are exclusive technologies. That is a really interesting idea. So we can either get auxiliary forces, which gives us approval from improvements, and the commander's table. This will give us approval per population on scribes, but lowered influence. This is really like leaning into approval. And then On the other hand, we can get cheaper industry cost on keeps and the Watchman's Bell. The Watchman's Bell will give you approval per pop on citizens at the cost of dust, and similarly approval per pop on artisans at the cost of dust. That is a really I love the idea of exclusive tech choices. That is a super interesting idea. Like if I go for public works, I'll get +3 influence on my improvements, but then I can't take dramatic arts, which makes it cheaper to make forums, and also gives us access to parade stands, which will allow us to pump even more influence from our scribes. Now, personally, I like the public works angle of things there. Super interesting. And then we've got the choice between cultivation, which gives food from improvements, as well as extra food from population working as citizens. Or we can go for hot houses, which gives us farming cooperative, which lowers approval at the cost of food and makes farms cheaper. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm also quite curious about this here. Banks, we could get military efficiency, thermal baths, dust blasting. Yeah, let's level that up. I think there's some really there's like so many really interesting things, and you can really tell they learned a lot in their experience of building, I mean, like 5 4X games, but most importantly, humankind. True to his word, Rizeld proves a valuable guide, navigating the kin forces through the many hazards of the once submerged site. Old scraps found in the ruins prove a boon too. Although no sign of Garin's earthly form is found, there are clear signs that she once took shelter in these dark depths. How she ventured beneath the waves is a vexing question. In one chamber, sparkling with motes of dust, the kin party finds signs of crude living arrangements and some of her possessions. Why did she come here? To study? To steal? To commune? Disturbingly, the chamber also shows clear signs of struggles. A recent one. So Gaze of Garin is cheaper. We know Garin came here. You think she would have been living here all this time? Was she trapped here beneath the waves, waiting for the waters to recede? I don't know. This place doesn't look like anyone lived here recently, but there are signs of a scuffle. Somebody came here before us, that's clear, and there was more than one of them. They found something, had a falling out, or they weren't together in the first place. Something coming across another. Prisia? Maybe. We'll need to investigate. How do you want to proceed? We can do this quietly by keeping our ears to the ground, or we can do this noisily by making a commotion. So we could be quiet, or we can be noisy. I think I'm going to go noisy. Let's do noisy. Let's not hide what we're doing here. Have our soldiers comb the surrounding area for any attacks. Someone left here in a hurry. I will see to it, General. Well, your instincts were right. We found a trail, a pair of kin boot prints, heavy like they were carrying something, or someone. And where do they lead? Some long abandoned facility, maybe once a mine. So, we've got to clear a fortress. This one right here. So let's go do it. This is a level 2 tyrant fortress. Before we do this, perhaps I should upgrade my units. Okay, I don't have enough resources. And there's not enough titanium or glass steel. Okay, we don't have the technology required to do this. What we could do is get ourselves another unit, a Herald of the Faith that we'll quick purchase to add to this army, to give it a little bit of extra power, and then we'll begin plundering. And so we'll fight this manual battle. So this battle is important. Let's get right up into their face. We want to put infantry here, cavalry here. You're a sentinel. You're kind of poorly positioned. It's a little bit unfortunate. So let's focus fire on this mighty ranger. But yeah, nice cavalry charge right there. I would call this a reasonable opening. So what do you got? Can you scoped shot anyone? You can't reach anyone with the scoped shot. The pinning volley, you could hit some of our own units. So we'll just play defensive this turn. The next turn, we'll maybe be able to get a bit more. Oh wow, there's an inspiring strike. Oh, a cutting strike on that poor cavalry unit. All right, let's bring our archer up here to support. And hopefully we can clear this guy out with an attack each. Perfect. We'll bring our archer hero up. And let's do a pinning volley. We want to avoid hitting our own troops. But this is a nice AoE attack. If I could get it to go off. There we go. Attack. Now, do we want you to defend or do we want you to attack? I think we could get away with you defending. Because if they focus fire on you while you're defending, you're just not going to take as much damage, which is perfect. Sort of force our opponents to make inefficient decisions. Let's kill this guy. Can we get a kill on this? No, not quite. Well, maybe now we can. There we go. And the combination of these cavalry attacking this guy. So now we just have to deal with... Oh, wait, no, he didn't quite die. Damn it. That's unlucky. And they're going for the hero here. Well, let's finish this guy. And we are behind him. Perfect. So we cleared this fortress. After handling the mine's dangerous denizens, the kin forces swept the place, but find no sign of any remaining living souls. Instead, they fire dead monsters, food scraps, and barely dried blood. Evidence that another fighting force has recently come through here is clear as daylight. This place is deserted. Nothing? Nothing good. Remnants of a merc encampment. And this. Then that's our next move. So we've got to destroy some vicious mercs, and we'll get Prisia who is a hero. Very cool. So these are the vicious mercenaries. In my mind, whenever I read the word vicious, I want to say viscous. Oh, damn. Okay, so we got like Rogue's Van Braces, Seer's Scimitar. We got a whole bunch of really cool equipment. Well, let's actually go in here, take a level up on this guy. Might be good to keep unlocking skills. I think I'm going to take the extra health on this hero to make him a little bit tankier. But let's have a look at some equipment. So in terms of bow, we have a compass bow, which is +1 determination and 43 damage. It gives range 3, scoping shot, and confusing strike, whereas this one is just range 3 and scoping shot, 32 damage. This is 32 damage as well. So this is definitely an upgrade, the compass bow. So we'll equip that. And it actually reflects on the character. I like that. That's really cool. In terms of the armor, the engraved cuirass would give us defense expert 1, as well as an extra 30 health and stuff like that. So this would just make him a lot harder to kill. Resilience, make you harder to kill. Intuition. So the question is, I think we just lean into resilience. And the translocation device, let's give you a cipher of horrible power. You don't have a nemesis. You don't have a companion either. Ooh, extra damage on units in the army. Oh, I like this. That's a really cool idea that, you know, you're able to retreat without taking as much damage. That's a really cool idea. I'm going to go for the extra damage, even if it means our vision range is weaker. All right, sick. There's a lot of really interesting mechanics going on here in this game. And I think that's the thing that has me excited, is that the foundation of what's here is super interesting. And it has, you know, the thing that I often say, right, about 4X games, and this is something I say, it's like, oh my God, it has so much potential. But unlike that, right, it is not just that this game has a lot of potential. It is that this game has executed upon a lot of that potential already. And that's what has me really excited about Endless Legend 2, is sometimes when you say a game, oh my God, this game has so much potential, really what you're saying is like, the game is kind of bad, but it could be good. But when I say Endless Legend 2 has so much potential, what I mean is, I'm going to be spending like 1,000 hours playing this game because it's already incredible and it's only going to get better. That's like my current opinion on it. That's not like a review or anything like that. It's just like, that's vibes from playing the game. I mean, you've been watching, right? You can clearly see that I'm having a good time. Okay, so this will get us the Blackhammer's Smithy, which will give us +2 influence and +2 production on works districts. Very cool. Let's go for that. Quite powerful. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's just something really crunchy about this game. Okay, so the viscous mercenaries are up here. Let us go search for them. Let's see if we can't bring them to heal. We are exploring, finding levitations for extra movement and all that jazz. Do you like jazz? Like, I'm actually a little bit sad that the game is going to end in like 10 turns, right? Because they're just going to be like, oh no, that's just a taster. That's all you get. And I want to keep playing, which is a good sign, right? Considering this is like my 3rd or 4th playthrough. I think it's my 3rd playthrough. No, it is my 4th playthrough. My 2nd full playthrough. The first 2 playthroughs I kind of just, I farted around. But yeah, man, there is something here. There is something really interesting going on in this game. We could definitely use a couple of these productive districts. So I'll grab like a forum right there and 3 works districts so we can build that Black Hammer thing. Garin's Rest, looking good. Okay, so where are the anomalies? Okay, nice. There's another anomaly over here. We can build a couple of science buildings. There's 8 science right there and another 8 science right here. Awesome. Slowly developing. Brave Station has been developed. We could get the geodesic dome plus we don't quite have the titanium. Getting enough titanium is a struggle. Right, let's bribe these guys. We got ourselves a little knife wing. That's cute. Brave Station is running into jobs issues. So let's try to solve that by building maybe like a little communal zone over here. Remember, each one of these communal zones adds 3 population room. Okay, so we've researched banks. We've access to military efficiency, thermal baths, dust blasting. What would be good for us to get, actually, is the scholars area and emergency dwellings, maybe. Or this one, the artisans quarter. But there's some really interesting text down here, like the nurture of Garin, extra damage on chosen. Ooh, you know what we want, actually? We want this. We can get extra specialization for our units. That's an exciting idea. Got more laboratories coming on. There's an anomaly here we could fill with science. I just love building science. There's something really satisfying. There's something really satisfying about the Empire development in this game. They really built something super interesting. Okay, I'm going to build an outpost out there. I would also like to get an outpost in here, and I think I'll pop it right there on the edge. Some very curious things are happening. I think there's something gone wrong with my units here. Hold on. I mean, bugs are to be expected. Let me go ahead and make a modification to this guy. I'm going to go ahead and change your... Oh, never mind. I can't. Okay, the mercenaries are... The problem is I don't have vision because this army has negative vision. You can't see anything. So where are the mercs? Okay, they're here. Okay, but we can't see them. How do I change your friend? No. I think I crippled myself with negative vision. That's so funny. And it doesn't really bother me because the game is not finished, right? Oh, +1 industry on black hammers. Yeah, we should keep expanding those. Brave Station. Fort Ryan needs orders. We could improve the blast furnace. There's +10 production, and then +1 production on the black hammer smithy. We could probably, I mean, this city could grow crazy fast if we wanted it to. We could also surround this thing with trading posts because it gets extra dust per adjacent thing. Tall trees needs orders as well. We do have some anomalies that we could build science around, and I'm intrigued by that idea. Just spam out a bunch of science districts. Oh, yes! Here we go, dude. I think this is Tidefall 2. I was really hoping that this would happen before the game ended. But damn, dude, like, I really love the game Against the Storm, and the monsoon and the Tidefall gives a very similar vibe to making it through a storm in that game. And I like if we zoom out now and the map has changed, right? We've got a new Tidefall. The map, like, zones that existed before have extended. They are bigger. There is more to them. We've also got these rifts here. Rifts will spawn horrors and doomwraith armies, and during the monsoon you can clear them, but you can also teleport between rifts during the monsoon. There's just really interesting gameplay mechanics to be scratched at here. And that is one of the things I really find interesting about the monsoon concept is, like, remember, there was no land bridge over here before this monsoon. I would really love to see the developers do an AI-only time-lapse. Like, wouldn't that be so cool? You zoom out, you get the whole map in control, and you let 1 second be a turn or whatever, and you watch the map slowly morph over time. Be super sick. But yeah, the game is so interesting. Okay, there's the things we need to hunt. All right, let's instant resolve this. That will complete the quest. And now we got Prisia, who is a hero, it seems. You are a defender hero. Exciting. The quest requires our attention. The fighting is savage, but the kin forces prevail. After defeating the mercenary army, you discover the young Prisia bound up nearby. She is bruised yet unbroken. I thought you were never coming. Few detours getting you out of this bind, but we're here now. You might be a loose cannon, but the kin look after their own. Worst part was the stuff they were feeding me. Guts of some animal I don't even want to know. Who was it? Who were they answering to? Brezvez. What? Lieutenant Brezvez. It was all him. Brezvez? Why? I don't know. I stumbled across him in the once submerged ruins. I watched him from the shadows. He was desperate, searching for something among Garin's things. When he saw me, I fled, but he caught you. Yes, he was agitated, very agitated. I don't think he knew what to do with me. Handed me over to the care of those mercs. We'll find him and bring him to justice. I want to help. I'm strong. Prisia. Whatever happened to Garin, Lieutenant Brevius knows something. If you have to let me help. You have to. So this gets us a new hero, which is really cool. I like that. Lieutenant Brevius' kidnapping and imprisonment of Prisia is a heavy burden on Shaparenko's shoulders. Brezvev has always been an exemplary officer with a long distinguished career. Nary a soul in 20 years has said a bad word about him, and yet in the twilight of his military duty, this hideous act sullies his name. Not that the general doubts Prisia's testimony. Her eyes said that much, and her fortitude in the face of such adversity gives the kin leader much strength. But why? Why did Brezvez go to such length? What is he hiding? What does he know about Garin? The general will not speak of his crimes to the rank and file morale. Morale must be kept high, but Brezvez must be caught. The kin's fate depends upon it. You are set on this path, General? Of course, until we have Brezvez, we won't know his game, and he could be a threat. So we got to go to Oyita's encampment, and we'll get Oyita. So we can track him, or we can lure it. Let's track him. We source outside help. A very sophisticated parties offer us assistance for a price. You mean the Starfarer Oyita? Oyita Nilfi. She has techniques and instruments beyond her capabilities. We would be wise to send her help. So we could bring influence to her encampment. Okay, her encampment is over here by this natural wonder. So we shall send our people there to treat with them. I'm going to use the rejuvenation ability here to let my army move again, which will allow us to get there sooner. You've also leveled up. We need to build you an army, so you'll have to chill there for a bit while we work on that. We're going to need a chosen for Prisia. We would also like a sentinel to let them move faster. A archer? We'll go for the chosen and the patroller. And then based on Prisia's skills, max health and non-hero units. So if we go the intuition route, max health, plus defense, experience, capture points, influence. Yeah, we'll probably go, well, I'll probably go a intuition route on Prisia. So her units will be hard to kill. Pyrometallurgy has been researched. We got the Eriadone mine, the Thalalatine mine, and this corkscrew drill. Mining rights as well. The AI is proposing a non-aggression pact. I am down with that. And in fact, I'm even willing to do more things. Let's see, we could share coral exploitation. Here, let me do this. How about open borders? And if I send them titanium, they will allow us to share coral exploitation. So let's do that. We want to kind of improve our relationship with the coral people. Okay, a couple of our units are ready to be specialized. So we could specialize them as either an explorer or a harrier. The explorer gets patroller 2, which adds an extra movement point to all units of the army. It's very powerful, but it does take titanium, which we don't have. Alternatively, they could be upgraded into a harrier. Now, harriers have weakening strike instead, which applies the weakening status to targeted units. So it's a question of, do you want this to be a outside a battle support unit that has really good defense, decent health, or do you want it to be inside a battle support unit that applies negative status effects? So like, let's say we went the harrier route. Then it could be upgraded into the harasser, so it would apply weakened 2. So it's very interesting that each unit has sort of 2 upgrade paths that you can go. And I find I really like the ability to customize my units, but I find most implementations of unit customization systems to be quite clunky and to be quite burdensome. You spend an awful lot of time designing your units rather than making interesting decisions. And I think the most important thing in a 4X game is you want your players to be focused on making interesting decisions. You want the gameplay to be moving forward. And I think they've done a great job providing the player with interesting choices without bogging down the gameplay, right? If I come down here and I look at this unit here, I can either just specialize it as a defender, right, to gain bodyguarded, which will apply guarded status to adjacent friendly units, which is an upgrade to the infantry, right? You can see you get extra armor, you get extra health, or we could be a warden, and the warden will apply slowed, right? So it's a question of, do you want to provide defense to your allies, or do you want to prevent the enemy from flanking you? And that's kind of the choice that you're offered with these infantry. So maybe I want to go this path, right? Yeah, so I just find the decision landscape in this game is very rich, is very satisfying, and not very burdensome. It does not feel like I am slowed down by the game constantly asking me to make sort of trivial decisions, which I'm a big fan of, not being bogged down. We could get another hero. Plus 8 damage on units is quite strong. We're 4 techs away from the years of trepidation, which would be the tier 5 technology. Probably if you did a tech rush, you could get here to the tier 5. The tier 6 will be a lot harder to get to, but you've got like less dust upkeep on usually like your capstone techs. And if you get them all, you've got like Arcana of the Ancients, which is 15% science in City Hall, technology research cost reduction. You've got dust seismology, cheaper buyout, extra dust, stock exchange, just raw yield boost, civilization optimization, just extra yield from your people, extra approval, really, really cool stuff. But there's a lot of like really interesting technologies down here, right? You've got protective carapaces, which gives health regeneration and lower industry cost, or you can go for fortified cities to get that approval and fortification. So a lot of really interesting ideas floating about in this game. We've got another one of these events. I'm just going to skip through this one really quick. I can spend money to improve my units, spend money to give them a big improvement, or gain glass deal. I'll spend money to re-equip my people. So now we can get access to Orchida quarries and the Lazulan mines. So this would allow us to build the next tier of improvements in our cities. I think some of these buildings that don't have things, yeah, you can see like this. This gives us approval if adjacent to districts on keeps districts, influence if adjacent to district on keeps districts. You've got Institute of Civil Defense, which is just more fortification on your keeps. And the fortification of the city is really useful in providing a defender's advantage. And that's what the kin of Sheredyn are all about. We're all about like locking in. Like, you are not going to move us from our land. We are here and we are not moving, which I find to be a fascinating gameplay style. And it's super, super, super interesting. But yeah, I believe there's 4 total phases of the game. So 3 Tidefalls. This was the second of 3 Tidefalls. And so once we have enough resources, we could actually look into upgrading our cities to the next level once again, which will add more attachable territory. It'll increase the city level and potentially specializing our city. We could get thermal baths, right? So our population will eat less food. We will get more food from citizens, more industry from artisans, science from scribes, approval, attachable territory, or dust blasting. You get dust from your population, dust from your districts, cheaper buyout. A lot of really interesting, things if you combine them together in different ways. There is a lot that you can do to, build an empire that will stand the test of Tidefall. Now, buy a whole bunch of glass steel. I wonder, does the market have... The market does have some Hyperium. That is something I should have considered, actually. I could have been buying these strategics. Didn't really think about that. I should have. But I'm still figuring out how to play the game. So you can kind of forgive me for not thinking about the world market. So he's given me open borders. He will happily do a cartography exchange, which would be really nice. And it'd be kind of interesting if we could embrace symbiosis. But I think they have to offer that to us. But now they've revealed their map and we can see that they've got this land up here. We've also met the kin of Sheredyn. We could offer them a non-aggression pact. And I will open my borders to them. I'm playing more of a diplomatics game. But here's a Doom Wraith, I believe. This creature here is a special type of creature that has the ability to... When it kills a unit, it turns them into a horror. And also, when it dies, all allied units die. So this is like just a big, horrifying, disgusting, fungus, chitinous thing. Okay, there's a Doom Wraith in our territory that we need to deal with that's causing corruption in this city. So let's recruit some archers and then we'll quick buy them so we can get them down to join. Okay. Wait. What? It corrupted this zone. Oh, interesting. Look at that. The land has been corrupted. Modifiers corrupted by Doom Wraith. So you need to clear these out or the corruption is going to cause some bad stuff. That is super interesting. That these Doom Wraiths create corruption and spread it. It creates pressure on the player to actually deal with them. And this land over here is becoming corrupted as well. All right, let's chat. The Hunt, we're grateful for your help. Okay, I'm happy to help. Why? Upheaval is coming to Sayada. Yada, yada, yada. All right, what's our next? Destroy Lieutenant Brezvez. Where is he? He's over here. All right, let's go get him. We could specialize you as a custodian. Yes. We need to bring our units up here to fight this Doom Wraith as it is trying to corrupt our land. And I'm not about that life. I am not cool with that. Oh man, there's 2 Doom Wraiths trying to corrupt my territory now. Oof. All right, let's see if we can take this guy on. I don't know if we can. I mean, if we instant resolve, we lose some units. I'll take that as a victory. We got a Puppeteer's Hand. Awesome. Doom Wraith remains. Oh, it created an anomaly. That is super interesting. I love that. I've never seen that before. That is super interesting. That a unit can leave behind an anomaly after you kill it. And we'll go exploit it if we can. That is fascinating. All right, let's go fight this Doom Wraith as well. Got some glass steel out of it. And it left behind remains 2. That is so sick. And it's like plus whatever of all different yields. That is really, really cool. Now, I don't know how to fight corruption or how to reduce corruption. Let's give you a movement speed boost so you can go deal with this traitor. And we'll just instantly resolve that. Finally, we have him. Everything I did for the kin, and how's that? Garin wanted to bleed this world dry. We had to stop her. What do you mean bleed it dry? The dust. She wanted to report back to Rayatel to have plentiful reserves enough to fuel a great expansion across the local arm. And you didn't agree with your commander. Not only me, most of the senior command. Like we can verify that now in subordination, nevertheless. She wanted to tear this world apart for the power it could give her, and every damn race would get in her way. So you did what? We killed her together? What? And then invented a savior parable. The kin needed to be kept paralyzed for their sake as well as the world's. They already worshipped her as a magnificent leader, but they hadn't seen what she'd become. Keep the truth buried. Oh, something truly monstrous stirs. He's no longer a threat. Commander Garin's, their authenticity is indisputed. Garin was going to recommend Sayeda for full dust extraction operations, but even with all the risks that entailed, she had a taste of the world's powers and wanted more. No wonder the leadership mutinied, killed her, and created this lost messiah myth. Even Brezvez's fate is unclear. Before that can be decided, though, we must steal the kin. Still no answer. Claims he doesn't know the nature of the threat that approaches. Oh. Chapter 5, reward trait description. So I think we're getting to the sort of limit of what is actually in the preview here, because some of the things aren't completed. But man, that is so interesting. So our actual, our legendary hero leader, turns out they mutinied and turned against her. That is fascinating. Really, really cool piece of storytelling right there. And so that is the end of the game, 125 turns. That is Endless Legends preview. It is super, super interesting. This video is not sponsored, but man, if it was, I would have been so happy because this game is sick, dude. I think this is going to be fighting for the title of the best 4X game of 2025. 100%, and I think it is in the lead as of today, based on what I've seen, based on what I've played. There will be another video where we play as the Aspect. Make sure you check that out, make sure you follow, do all the beautiful things that you guys do. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.